the drinks are on my mind. The decision sets in, one that will churn your skin. The lovers ride, let them have their time. And I have this notion, let's keep these wheels in motion. In motion. You thought I did not know. Did you think I would let it go? Oh no. And in time, yes, I'll think it's absurd, but until then you'll leave your words. But lay on, lay on. Now it's time to defend your lies, lies you've been feeding me all this time. And will you reoffend? Oh darling, you say that you are innocent, but your words, they seem irrelevant, but still play on. Now it's time to defend your lies, lies you've been feeding me all this time. And will you reoffend? Oh darling, oh you have reached your lover's end. No more will we make pretend like we something to fight for. Oh. We had nothing to fight for. We had nothing to fight for. We had nothing to fight for. We had nothing to fight for.
Good afternoon, or good evening, indeed, race fans. It's Pirate here, Black Flag Racing TV, and we are back after the summer break. Everyone nicely rested from their holidays, I hope. We're back for the GT Fusion the GT Fusion Next Level Team World Championship 2023, and it's on to round number 4 in the Amuse Nismo 380RS Super Leggera. Beautiful little car, and it's been souped up to whiz round this track at Tokyo Expressway. This is an incredibly quick track with a very long straight, so expect to see slipstream overtakes absolute galore. Expecting lap times. This is the A lobby. This is where the big boys play. All A plus drivers, and you'll see in a minute there is one little C driver in the lobby. That'll be me. I'm not going to race these guys. These guys are super quick. Expecting lap times around 2 minute 2, 2 minute 4. They're on. Why not sub 2 minute? Well, because they're not using racing tyres. They're using sport medium in the sprint race and in the feature race. A choice of 2. One of those being the sport medium. So what are we looking at in terms of setup? So as usual, 4 different weather setups for the 4 different races. Preset weather is SO1 all the way throughout, equal to conditions mode as you would expect. Fastest first grid order from the short qualifying. BOP is off because there is tuning. Mechanical damage is, of course, heavy. So do not crash your car, folks. Tyre wear quite high in the sprint race, ×5, ×3 on the fuel consumption with a slow refueling speed of just 3 litres per second. So you want to be conserving fuel where possible, because you do not want to be spending an age in the pits here, because where the pits is halfway down that very long straight, you lose a lot of time going into those pits. The longer race, the feature race, that is, I can't remember how many laps it is now. Help if I remember that. 15 laps. So the sprint race is just 5 laps, and then 15 laps for your feature. Again, heavy damage, of course, with the tyre and fuel. Slightly, exactly the same for those. ×5 and ×3. So it's all about tyre and fuel management throughout. 519 brake horsepower on these little cars. What else do you need to know? Not a lot. Just that it's going to be very fast, very frantic, and I imagine quite close in terms of racing. This is how the lobby looks for this evening, assuming everyone rocks up. Your glorious host this evening is from the Polish team, the EES team. That's Nix, or Nixo. We've got 3 of the EES drivers. That's Ghost, Nixo, and Bez, all from Poland. 3 Turkish drivers from Gran Turismo Borderless Esports. That is Batu, Ilka, and Kadoglu, or Vikadoglu. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. 2 representatives from INCR. That's Lolo Fantic and Mello. ATR as 2 members as well, Enjoy and Angelov. And I think that's it. And EXP. 1 representative from EXP in the form of Ale, and Gran Turismo Greek community has their entry of Larry Verde. Just the 1 Greek driver. 3 Turkish drivers, 3 Italians, 5 Poles, and a Greek driver in this A lobby. And this is where the big boys come to play for GT Fusion. Just counting, there should be 12 in the lobby. How you doing, Paul? Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're having a good weekend. Hope it's looking after you well, although the weather has turned on us now. So we've got 11 in so far. I think we're just missing just the 1 driver. Let's have a look at the lobby, shall we? We'll have a look at the liveries when they go out there. It's the Tokyo Expressway east clockwise. So you've got the really twisty, streety kind of section up the one side, and then you basically hit the power before you go to the very, very big. You've got two very, very long straight, or one very long straight and two very complicated 180 switchback hairpins. That was the word I was looking for. Hairpins at either end. One double apex and one single apex. Yeah, no, we the same thing. To be fair, it's not been raining here. We've had quite a lot of rain earlier in the week. Twice this week, actually, I've had to cancel a concrete pour, or we've had a concrete pour cancelled because of the weather and the danger of it diluting the concrete, essentially. It was big thunderstorms Thursday. It wasn't so great Wednesday, but it's been all right since. We've had little drizzles and stuff. Not super. It's ish. It's ish at the moment, but I can cope with ish. It's a lot better than 35 degrees stifling heat that nearly killed you. I can take this. I don't need my fans on, and it's not too bad. I don't know if you got to catch any of the racing over the weekend in the GT Alpha series that you have so kindly done our track guide video for. But if you haven't, do check it out, especially Lobby 1. Qualifying, the entire field at qualifying was separated by just 9/10 of a second from first to last. That's how close the qualifying lobby was yesterday in our own World Championship, which is an individual World Championship, which is the GT Alphas. But anyway, today is all about GT Fusion and the return of GT Fusion after the summer break. I think we're just waiting for a couple of people to check in and get going, and then I think qualifying will be underway. As we know, it's always a little bit hit and miss with getting started on time with Fusion, for whatever reason that might be. I don't know. You guys know me, you know when I'm hosting, I'm generally... yeah, do you know what? I think you'd be in there mixing it with those big boys as well. What's interesting, actually, Paul, is that we haven't announced it yet to everybody, but I can tell you that there are drivers in Lobby 2 and Lobby 3 that have made that pro group. So not everybody, despite how close they were in Lobby 1 yesterday, not everybody in Lobby 1 has made the cut for the pro class. Which I think is testament to the quality across the field, across the three lobbies. So really looking forward to Interlagos next week. There's some brilliant drivers in there. And we were on a massive big screen in a pub yesterday. One of the drivers that was due to qualify in the in Lobby 1 had to work late, and he was working in the pub. So he put the broadcast up on the massive projector screen in the pub, so there was 100 or so drunk blokes shouting and cheering people along. So I can see why. To be fair, I was watching it and I knew I'd be nowhere near their pace, but even I was getting that FOMO feeling. Very close racing. But expect to see some close racing here this evening with the GT Fusion Team World Championship, brought to you by Next Level. It's pretty darn good. Yeah, he did us proud on the big telly. I really like this Tokyo Expressway track. It's one of those kind of circuits where if you can get your exits right, particularly out of the big hairpin at the end of the lap and at the top of the hill, you really can make or break your lap, because it's all about momentum through the corners in sort of sector 2 and towards the end of sector, or beginning of sector 3 certainly. It's all about momentum through the corners and carrying as much speed as possible, but also about how late you can be on the brakes into the hairpins and how quickly you can get back on the power and get the car under control. These cars are going to be tricky. They're on sport tyres rather than your really grippy racing tyres, slicks, but either way, they're still going to be chucking in laps around the 2 minute mark, just over 2 minutes. 2 minutes. I'm thinking 2:02, 2:04 will be the kind of spread through qualifying, and then on those medium tyres, I think what we're probably going to see is a use of medium and hard because they do need to use 2 compounds in the feature race. I think we're going to see a spread of medium and hard sports tyres, which will bring those lap times down to around 205, 206. There is a ready checker going up. I'll let them know that I'm ready. I'm always ready, of course. On time, of course, I'm always ready as well, let me point out. We're already running 5 minutes late. Everyone knows my feelings about starting late. It's not difficult if the race is due to start at a time. Start it at a time. If people have turned up late, that, for me, is their problem. It is what it is. It is what it is. So, we've got a couple of the EES Polish drivers in. We've got Ilka from Turkey. We've got Kudoglu from Turkey. We've got Batu from Turkey. Just one Greek driver. One driver from the Gran Turismo Greek community who are flying high, challenging the EES team for this World Team Championship. Larry Verdi flying that flag in the number 1 lobby. And I tell you, it's really, really odd for me to not see Black Flag's old friend Kevin from the Hill Ignites racing team in lobby A. He's always been one of these top-end drivers, but obviously work gets in the way sometimes, and it kind of knocks you down a little bit, and a couple of poor performances chucked in the mix, and he's down into lobby B. So well, they want to start at 19:10. That's absolutely fine. Well, it's not, but it's going to have to be. Let me tell him it's okay. Yeah, if they want to start at 10 past, that's absolutely fine by them. It just means you've got to listen to my dulcet tones for a couple more minutes. What should we talk about? I'll tell you what we should talk about. A couple of things. Number 1 is ULEZ. I know a lot of you are all across Europe and you don't really know or care about ULEZ. Let me tell you about ULEZ. Anyone that's been to London will know that we've had in central London, we've got a thing called congestion charge, which was brought in years ago. Basically, you pay a tenner to drive your cars and vans and all that into London. And then they introduced a thing called the low emission zone, which essentially means you pay a fee if your car churns out. It's not compliant in terms of emissions. And that was for central London. And I kind of understood why there was a need for that in central London, where it's incredibly busy and there's lots of cars and they want to encourage people to use the tube. Well, they've now rolled this absolute clusterfuck out to the M25. Now, if you know about London, the M25 is essentially the motorway that surrounds London. It's like the border that keeps everybody out. Well, it doesn't, but yeah, it's kind of the border that keeps everybody out. And most of the towns and places around that M25 area, particularly on the edge, are leafy suburbs. We're not big, built-up, city centre places. We're leafy suburbs with big parks and out-of-town shopping centres and that kind of thing. And the roads are relatively quiet. I mean, yeah, you get your busy periods. But they've now rolled that out to this area. So essentially you're looking at, carers and nurses and people like that are now paying £12.50 a day just to go to work. Just to go to work. There is a massive movement of people that don't want it. Nobody voted for it, certainly, but it's been rolled out anyway, and it's causing huge problems already since it's been brought in, and it's costing absolute millions and millions of pounds of taxpayer money, which is really frustrating for the taxpayers, of course. Really frustrating. And what that means, essentially, is you've got, there are a movement of people called the Blade Runners that are taking these cameras down and chucking them in a bin and chopping the poles down and all that, which seems to be the only thing that people understand. So now the council have taken to buying a massive fleet, sometimes of non-compliant, might I add, vans. Here's the kicker. Some of the vans they use with the cameras in to catch you driving a non-compliant vehicle so they can fine you are themselves non-compliant, right? And so they're still trying to convince us it's all about air quality, when the fact of the matter is it's just about money. So if you ever do hear anyone moaning about ULEZ, you'll hear me moaning about it a lot. And if you ever see a Stop ULEZ thing on my page, it's because that's what it's about. It's a tax on the poor, unfortunately. We are finally, though, there we go, filled it in enough. We're finally underway for qualifying. So without further ado, let's get this up. Round number 4 from Tokyo Expressway in this Amuse Super Leggera. Do you need just to mess with my volumes a little bit? Hang on. That's better. I had the speaker in the background going as well as in my ear, and it was making the cars incredibly loud, which is great when you're racing, not so great when you're trying to talk to you lovely people. If you don't know already, I'm Urban Pirate. This is Black Flag Racing TV, and we've got some awesome racing ahead. If we do that, you'll see there is the race timer just above you. You can see what's going on there. We will periodically check in on tyres and fuel with that little box down there, but mostly we're concerned with the racing. I want to get rid of the driver names above. I don't like it. I'd like it actually, when we get this update on Thursday, if they would just leave my settings as I had them last time I used them. That'd be awesome. But right, let's have a little look at all the cars and the liveries for this round 4. This is the unmistakable livery of EES, which is generally the same for every single EES car. This is the problem with street tracks like this. It's very difficult to get a good look all the way around the car. But nice purple and green livery for unmistakably the EES team cars. This is the ATR Motorsports, of course. The livery for them, again, unmistakable black, red and white livery. So difficult to look around when you've got walls. That's Ale, the Italian driver. That is for, what team is that? Am I missing something here? I think I am. I'll bring that up, it'll tell me. Ale, the EXP team. That's why I couldn't recognise it, EXP. ES, of course, again there. That's the Gran Turismo Greek community car, unmistakable. The big GTGC on the side. Very, very big, very, very quick team as well. I did actually, I've raced with a number of the guys from GTGC, and I did pop into one of their lobbies earlier, and I'll tell you what, they were churning out some fabulous lap times. Very, very quick. Very, very quick. There's our glorious host, Nick So. He's coming out for EES. There's Larry Verdi again there. The INC Racing livery. With that, I'm assuming there's some sort of Scorpion or Cobra or something on the side. Who knows? Who knows? Another INC car there. I think that's it. That's every... Oh, Gran Turismo Borderless Esports. Again, the black and green. Unmistakable GTBE livery. Good looking car, this. A very, very good looking car. Right. Let's have a look at qualifying times. We'll do an onboard lap. Once everyone's set their stall out and we've seen what we're working with, we'll get an onboard lap going so we can see this track from a driver perspective. You'll see just how quick it is. The lobbies are going to run essentially morning, sort of early morning, afternoon and night time kind of thing for the 4 lobbies, different times of day. Gives you different temperatures, different track conditions, different wind conditions. At the moment, the wind is 0, no effect at all. What you'll find is, because you've got these high walls and you've got the cars running through the longest straight here is in a tunnel, you get a little bit of that kind of wash, that dirty air wash. And because you haven't got super grip because they're on sports tyres, not racing, you're going to see 1 or 2 cars struggling when they get on the power to kind of get that power down to the road, and that's what they really want to do. And you hope they've got their tuning just right so they can get that power down and get cracking with some straight line speed. We'll have a look at straight line speeds as well as we go through. So that is Enjoy. I'm saying it like that because he's got a capital J in there. I hope he's enjoying this broadcast. Across the line he goes. I said 202, didn't I? That wasn't far off, was it? It's almost like I know what I'm doing. That's a 201.1. That's not a bad time for him. But 2 minutes dead for Larry Verde of the Gran Turismo Greek community. You're right, Paul. Absolutely so much fun, this track. As the 2 Turkish drivers putting themselves from Borderless Esports. Batu, Ilka, and then Bezzy. Are we going to see a sub 2 minute lap here? Considering that they're on, they're on sports soft tyres for qualifying. So we might squeeze just under that 2 minute laps. It's going to require a bit of slipstream, and I'm sure you're going to see these guys working together, particularly the teammates working together to help each other improve their lap times, as Bezzy does a 2-minute .115. Field separated, a field of 12 drivers. We haven't got times for everybody just yet, or have we? Well, we have, but it looks to me that was abandoned. He's actually on he's now on his hot lap, is Nick. So, but at the moment, 4 seconds. 4 seconds is separating the top 11 drivers. That's quite a spread, considering the quality of these drivers. And there is a little bit of lag going on, which is concerning me. Now, I don't know where that lag is coming from. Certainly not from my end. I know that my end is incredibly stable in terms of connection. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll have a look see in a bit where the problem is lying. I'm just going to have a look and see if there's. I've deliberately don't open much stuff on my PC when this is going on. It is going to get quite loud in a minute as my family come through the door. At least we'll try and keep it. Yeah, no, you're right. Slipstream is a huge benefit around here, which is why I think we might see a sub 2-minute lap coming in from these guys. At the minute, they're already banging on the door of going sub 2 minute. That's the fastest lap so far from Larry Verde. That's not slow in the slightest. That is right there on the cusp of breaking the 2-minute barrier. Really close. Batu, very close as well. At the moment, the top 3 separated by nothing. Bezzy in second and Batu in third, separated by just 1/1000th of a second in this first qualifying session here. The Turkish driver just a little bit slower than the pole at the moment. Talking to pole, that is to the only Greek driver in the room, Larry Verde. He currently sits just 0.05 of a second quicker than anybody else. Looks like he's going quicker still. Certainly through that sector 2, he's just put in the fastest sector 2 of the race or of the qualifying so far. And look, I mean, you can see there just how good the slipstream is. The only problem, of course, is you don't want to be tucked that close behind a car on this part of the racetrack. You want to be a little bit further back on this part of the racetrack and pick up the slipstream somewhere here. Once you hit this straight, you come round the bend here, it flicks round to this left hand side, and then you've got the run down to the final corner. And let's jump on board with Larry Verde as we head down to this big hairpin at the end of the lap. And this is where you really start to set up your next lap, get into that braking zone, 100-meter board. You want to get nice and tight if you can to this apex, which is right here. Then on the power, it flicks round to the left hand side. Don't worry about a lift there. You are flat out from this point. Slipstream from here is really going to set you up for a brilliant lap. It heads down the hill into the tunnel, and it is foot to the floor for the best part of 35-40 seconds as you head to the line, across the line, and then you've got your countdown as you start to climb back up out of the tunnel under that little overhead pass, and up onto this upper carriageway. Flicks round slightly to the right. You just need hardly any movement in the steering wheel at all. You want to keep it to this left hand side, looking for that 100-meter board just before there. Onto the brakes, get it turned down. You want to get the rotation in first gear, back up through the gears, second gear, third gear. Once you come round this corner and get on the power, he's gone on the gear, up in the gears a little bit early, but who am I to question this guy's ability when he's putting in lap times like that? Here we go. This is the tricky section. You're feathering the throttle and feathering the brake through this section. Every bit of braking you do here is just a little bit of trail braking if necessary. You're going to use the engine to get the car slowed down for the most part until you start saving fuel, of course. Then you really have to start thinking about how you get the car slowed down and using the brakes and using the gears more effectively. And you can see through here so much quicker than that EES driver ahead, really catching them up through this section. This is where it seems to be where Larry Verde is gaining that extra bit of time through that twisty street section. You've got to avoid these walls. These walls are brutal, and because the damage is on heavy, you can do some significant harm to your lap times just by clipping a wall anywhere here. And here we go again to the end of the lap. Again, 100-metre board. Get on those brakes nice and early. Get it turned in nice and early. The earlier you get it turned, the quicker you can get back on the power. And here he goes again on those super soft race sports tyres heading down. He's got a much better slipstream now than he did last time. Can he use this to capitalise? Can he use this to give himself a good solid lap? Well, no, he's actually pulling into the pits. He's opted to drop out. I would have expected actually he was going to try and improve there with that bit of slipstream. We can see here that Bezzy, just behind Larry Verdi in those qualifying stakes, is on the power now. Using this slipstream. Can he get onto pole position? He can't. In fact, not only does he go slower, but Nixo, phew, that was quick. That was very quick. Does improve on his time, puts himself on the front row, and closes that gap to the Greek driver to just 2 100ths, or 25 1,000ths of a second. He was, for some reason, revving it out in third gear there, for whatever reason. And was that a teammate of his coming past him to offer him some slipstream, maybe? Certainly a distinct possibility. So we do have a change at the top of the pile, and we also have a sub 2-minute qualifying lap, and that goes to the Turkish driver Ilka. It is Ilka, isn't it? It is. I probably should get some glasses. I'm sitting this far away from the screen. Ilka puts in a blistering lap by all accounts with a 1:59.9, breaking that 2-minute barrier. We're not going to see lap times under 2 minutes during the race, I wouldn't expect. Especially because they're going to be using medium tyres for the sprint race. I can't imagine we're going to see them using the softs during the sprint, during the feature, because they do have to use 2 tyre compounds. There's going to be a mandatory stop. They have to use the mediums, but they can use any other one tyre they like. And of course we now have a third different team sitting on pole through this qualifying session. Qualifying should be over relatively soon. I can't actually remember how long qualifying is. It's been that long since I've done a fusion thingy that I've actually forgotten how long qualifying is. I thought it was shorter than this for some reason. I don't know why. Just not paying attention, obviously. Let's have a little looky, see. It should tell me here somewhere. Bearing in mind, it's only a 5-lap race, the first race. So you would kind of expect that qualifying is not going to be more than 5 laps, right? But it certainly looks that way at the moment. I think it's 15 minutes qualifying, if I remember rightly. Something like that. Yeah, it is 15 minutes. 15 minutes round one, just 5 minutes for the other round. I think it's 15 minutes for the first for the 2 sprint races and 5 minutes for the 2 feature races. I suppose it helps for me to remember things like this, but you know that involves me bothering to check, which I often don't do. Penalties very strong here for shortcuts. Not many opportunities to take a shortcut here anyway, because the only shortcut really is going to be through a wall, and you really don't want to be doing that. So yeah, essentially this race will set the grid for the next race, and then we'll do a 5-minute qualifier after that. After our break, of course, we'll do a 5-minute qualifier, and then we'll go again. So essentially we'll have 2 of each type of race. Minimum weight for these cars is restricted to 1,270 kilograms. They can go heavier if they want. Why you'd want your car heavier and slower, I don't know. Restricted to 519 brake horsepower. Other than that, they can pretty much do whatever they want other than fit nitrous. And that was something that was confirmed throughout the build-up to this race, which means that somebody's tried it and found the car can be incredibly quick with nitrous. So they've taken nitrous out of the equation. Another new driver on pole. That's Bezzy. Another driver then that goes sub 2 minute. Bezzy with a 59.696. Ilka with a 59.950. Larry Verdi was on pole for some time for the for GTGC. Not been able to sustain that and not gone sub 2 minutes yet. So at the moment, these guys have really been chucking it out there. Final lap for all of the drivers on their hot laps now. Last opportunity to get in their representative time and see if they can get themselves on pole position. But as it stands at the moment, speak to you later, Paul. Thanks for dropping by. See you very, very soon. So as it stands, we have Bezzy on pole from Poland with Ilka, the Turkish driver, sitting next to him on that front row. Larry Verdi from Greece next to Nixo from Poland on row 2. Two more Turkish drivers in the form of Batu and Kadoglu. They're on row 3 with the Italians Ale and Lolo Fantic sitting on row 4. Then behind them, two Polish drivers again, Angelov and Enjoy. 9th and 10th, that's row 5. And row 6 will be Mello from Italy, and Ghost is the driver at the rear. But the entire field now only separated by just 2 seconds, which is phenomenally quick. And really anybody's race. Because of the power of the slipstream here, qualifying in pole isn't necessarily going to be a benefit. There is quite a long run down to turn 1. So actually, by qualifying in pole, look, everybody wants to be on pole, of course you do. But by qualifying on pole, you are vulnerable to an attack very early on. And one would wonder if you just delay your jump at the start to let someone go past and slot in behind. Sorry, just draining my drink and keeping my throat wet. I've been out of action. Those of you that follow the channel on a regular basis know that I've been out of action for a while, only just back after illness. But back with a bang we have been. Yesterday was the start of the GT Alphas World Championship, which you can catch all the footage live here. And then straight into the GT Fusion World Team Championship here on this not too cold and not too wet Sunday evening. Now this is a track that can get wet. I don't think they've factored in any rain into the settings this time out. That would have made for some exciting racing, wouldn't it? Well, I'm going to bring the lobby page back up. Although I'm acutely aware that now they've done qualifying, it doesn't fit. But you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Actually, let's do this. So, Bezzy on pole, 1:59.696. Quality time from him. Ilka joining him on that front row. Larry Verdi and Nixo are on row 2 with Batu and Kadoglu on row 3. Ale and Lolo Fantic are on row number 4. Angelov and Enjoy, row 5. And Mello joins Ghost at the rear of the pack on row 6. So we are ready to go. I think we're ready to go. 1 minute. Everyone get their tyres sorted out. You want to make sure you've got the correct tyres on. It is medium tyres for this 5-lap sprint race. This 5-lap sprint race will decide the grid for your 15-lap feature. They should all do the 5 laps without a need for a pit stop. Surely you're not going to burn that much on the sprint race, are you? I don't think so. Who knows? They may well do. They may well do. But we're certainly going to see pit strategy playing a part in the feature race. Everyone's ready. I can tell them I'm ready as well. It doesn't really matter. The whole point of me doing what I do is I have to be ready. There we go. Ready. I didn't type anything at all, did I? Idiot. There we go. That's better. There we go. Could have done a capital letter if I had been bothered. Right, here we have it. Is Bezzy going to hold on to the lead into turn 1? Greetings indeed. How you doing, David? David, isn't it? Because it's the W. It's not pronounced David. David? or David. Thanks for watching. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I think it's going to be an awesome, awesome race. This really annoys me. So we are away. And Bezzy gets a decent start. But how long can he hold on? Because he's going to have these cars right in behind him. We're going to go... Let's have a little looky from here, from this perspective. And you can see there that Kadoglu already pulling out of the slipstream, trying to make a move. You would imagine these cars are just going to be in formation all the way down this straight. But Ilka already gets that move done before we get into turn one. I told you the slipstream was going to play a big part right from the off, and that hit is done. But he gets it all kinds of wrong. That lets Bezzy back in. You can see Bezzy takes the lead or back of this race. Ilka slotting in behind. At the moment, Kadoglu seems loath to get in that dirty wash behind his teammate. And you can imagine through here, it's very difficult to follow through this section. You know, you're dealing with the dirty air coming off the car in front, and it really does unsettle your car when you're coming through this really twisty, kind of very street-like inner city section that brings you back down to the opportunity to get back on the power again. Already we can see the cars are tucked in nicely with each other, sticking nice and close. But I want to watch this battle here for the top three. There's Nixo back there, just starting to see a gap forming between Larry Verdi and Nixo. The top three separated by less than a second. Nixo starting just to drop away as they're heading down to the hairpin for the first time to complete the first of 5 laps here. And very, very, very late on the brakes was Larry Verdi. And that has allowed Nixo back into this. Is Nixo going to get an opportunity to make a move? Doesn't quite. Larry Verdi does enough to stay ahead. I think he had just enough of a distance. But that has given Nixo a much better slipstream as they head into the tunnel for the first time. And see just how strong the slipstream is here as they head down into the tunnel for the first time here at Tokyo Expressway. If you are just joining us, this is the GT Fusion Next Level World Team Championship. We've returned from the summer break. This is round 4. This is the elite group. These drivers are the very best drivers that this team championship has to offer. This is Lobby A, and this is where the professionals come to race. And it's already hotting up here with Ilka back into the lead. The slipstream just proving to be so strong. How you doing, Adriano? Good of you to join us. And yeah, Bezzy's doing all right. Bezzy's having a bit of a battle with Ilka at the moment out in front. Let's get on that battle, shall we? So there is Ilka. Ilka's managed to make that move on Bezzy, but now, of course, Bezzy is the one that's going to get that lovely slipstream from the car in front. Unless, of course, Bezzy can find some way to scuttle away during this tricky, twisty street section. Larry Verdi there, the only Greek driver on track, certainly in this lobby anyway. He is sticking right with the back of Bezzy. Now, Bezzy was on pole. Is he now struggling to keep these guys away? Is that slipstream just proving too strong for him as we head down towards this hairpin? You've got to get this hairpin right. Absolutely got to nail this hairpin because it makes or breaks your lap. It's such a difference between your straight line speed at the end of the straight. And you can see there Larry Verdi taking a slightly different line through there than the cars ahead. And let's have a look from the front of Larry Verdi's car. There's nothing going on behind that we need to worry about. He's not challenged in any way. And just watch how strong this slipstream is. You can see how quickly that gap, that half-second gap between him and Bezzy is closing as the slipstream starts to pick up momentum. And it's pulling, that air is pulling that car along, giving it those extra few miles per hour, making such a difference. We look there, 188 miles an hour for Larry Verdi, 192, 193. And you can see there Bezzy having a little look at Ilka, using the slipstream, getting the job done. Does he make it stick? He's on the outside. Ilka does hold on. And that 193 miles an hour with that slipstream. As Ilka clips the wall, that allows Bezzy through. Larry Verdi not able to capitalise at this stage. Just has to watch as the two ahead are side by side and duking this out. Let's watch this from this chase cam view, because it is such a great little battle going on between Ilka and Bezzy for the lead of this race so early on as well. It's lap 3 of this sprint race, and this sprint race is what sets us up for the feature race, which follows this immediately. And you can see here that they're just trading places. And I'll tell you what this is going to do, actually. If these two are constantly having to drive defensively, it allows Larry Verdi to basically pick up on any mistake. If these two ever coming together, or they get it wrong, or they push too hard, Larry Verdi's right there. And Larry Verdi could very well win this race without having to make a proper overtake. Just by virtue of these two duking it out in front of him. And it's a good position to be in for Larry Verdi at the moment, the Greek driver, because he can see ahead how hard they're fighting. Now, can he get through a bit quicker? And that was Batu making a little move there. That was a bit cheeky. Batu with a little bit of a touch on Larry Verdi. That's allowed Nixo to get through. Now, I think that's something that might need to get looked at by the stewards. Maybe we could, if I could rewind and have a little look here, and we'll look from here. And actually, that was a bit of a naughty move there. You know, they always say if you don't go for a gap that's there, you're not really a racing driver. But there wasn't much of a gap there to speak of, really, as Batu coming back at Nixo there, making that move. So Larry Verdi very much loses out there, albeit briefly. Now back ahead of Nixo. Look at that under braking. What a move by Larry Verdi. That is setting his stall out. As Batu, though, coming back out of the corner, coming back at him, duking it out, these two cars, really battling side by side. This is a lot fairer than it was. I don't know how I feel about that move up the inside. I don't feel the gap was big enough to be diving there, because it's going to cause it's going to unsettle other cars making that move there. But you know, nobody's died. Larry Verdi has lost a place. Batu now up into 3rd place. And it looks like Ilka now settling into the lead. Here we are in lap 4. Let's have a quick run through from front to back. So we've got the Turkish driver Ilka in the lead by just under half a second from Bezzy of Poland. He is, they are now 1.5. That little battle has allowed them just to pull away from everybody else. Batu 1.5 seconds back from Turkey. He's got Larry Verdi just behind him, all over the back of him, like a very, very unwanted rash. Is Larry Verdi crawling all over him. Nixo is back there as well, just half a second back. We've got Angelov, 3/10. Then a little bit of a gap back. Kadoglu for the Borderless Esports team, running in 7th. He's got Ghost for company, who's not letting him ghost anywhere. Boom, boom. Ale, the lead Italian driver at the moment. The Italians in a sort of formation in 9th, 10th and 11th place. Lolo Fantic is almost a second back, not getting much slipstream at all from his compatriot. Neither is Mello, back in 11th. But Enjoy is, well, he's certainly not enjoying this lap. 2:22 on that last lap means it wasn't going all that well for him there. So final lap. And here we go. Bezzy has regained his lead, but look at Ilka coming at him, as he has done every single time into turn 1. This time, though, Bezzy holds on. Ilka can't get that move done. He's going to have to tuck in behind and wait for another opportunity to get this move done. The gap, 1.3 seconds now. Larry Verdi back into 3rd. But look at this battle for 3rd. There are 4 cars involved, all the way from Angelov there. Angelov now's got himself onto the back of that battle. It's Angelov, Batu, Nixo and Larry Verdi all battling out for 3rd position. Who is going to get that 3rd step of the podium? You can see Bezzy and Ilka just ahead. They're duking out. They've got their own little battle going on. These guys, though, they're vying for 3rd place. And it's really, really close. Really, really close. Nothing separating them at the moment. Just 2.9 seconds off the lead is Angelov. So anything could happen between now and the end of this lap. If Bezzy and Ilka are coming together, or they clip a wall, anything, we can still see Angelov getting himself on the podium. There is nothing separating these cars. Here we go into the final braking zone of this first race here. And they head down looking for that 100-metre board. That's your sign to think about braking. Bang! Now, on those brakes. Get the car turned in. Very, very wide. Late apex. That's what you want to do. You can get on the power nice and early then and see if you can use that slipstream to your advantage. It doesn't look to me like Angelov's going to get anything out of that. Can Ilka nick this from Bezzy at the last minute? Bezzy heading down. He's got the gap. 7/10 of a second. Bezzy's going to take this win here in this first race. Bezzy across the line, closely followed by Ilka. Larry Verdi claims third. Nixo, Batu, Angelov. Nothing separating them. Ghost will come home in 7th with Ale almost in his boots. Lolo Fantic there as well. Kadoglu in 10th. Mello home in 11th. And Enjoy, who has not enjoyed this particular race, is heading down now. He'll finish 21 seconds back, and we'll want to see the back of, well, we'll be glad to see the back of this particular race. Had a very, very bad lap 3, and across the line he goes. That's not bad for a return to GT Fusion Team Championship racing, is it? That's a little bit of all right, I think. Great start, and some great battles on the racetrack there. So that's 1 down, 3 to go. Bezzy with an awesome performance. Started on pole, had some great battles there, but in the end, Ilka could not steal it from him. We'll bring up the full results there just in case. There is the full classified results for your viewing pleasure. It is Bezzy from Ilka, from Larry Verdi, Nixo from Batu, Angelov from Ghost, Ale in 8th place, the lead Italian driver. Lolo Fantic from Kadoglu, Mello, and then Enjoy. Some 31 seconds back. But the top 11, if Enjoy clearly had some sort of accident. If Mello, that happened, Mello stood 9 seconds back. So luckily, I'd got to read that before we shut the lobby down too quickly. How are we supposed to save replays if you shut the lobby down that fast? I say this every single round, that Fusion, I'm going to be brutally honest. There is no need. The lobby stability is good enough now that we don't need to be creating new lobbies for every race. Doesn't need to happen. You can just reset the settings. The people in the room belong in the room. Nobody's jumping in and out. Just reset the settings. Make a new room if it goes wrong. It interrupts the flow for me. It interrupts the flow of the broadcast, especially. You know, and they've got sponsors and they've got people that want to have a good, solid broadcast. So we've just got to wait now for the next lobby to open, and it causes an unnecessary delay. I think you could just flow, even if you do the sprint race and the feature race, and then during the break set up a new lobby. But it doesn't give anyone time to save a replay. I'm not a fan of that aspect. There's a lot about Fusion I like. That's one bit about Fusion that I'm not too keen on. This incessant need to create a new lobby for every single race, unnecessarily so. So, how many of you have we got out there? There's quite a few of you watching. Hope you're enjoying what you're seeing. I hope the people you've come to watch are doing you proud. If you like what you see, do give that like, do press the like button and share it with your friends. Tell everybody that you like what you see and you're happy with what is going on. So it's going to be set by host for this particular race because obviously the results of that won't carry forward because the lobby got shut. Just joining the room now, so hopefully we'll get in and we can get cracking with this race. It's taking some time to join. This again is why I don't like this format of creating a new lobby, because if you have problems, all of a sudden now, you know, look, I'm getting that very scary ring of this lobby might not be working. If the lobby's working, stick with it. And I apologise for that. Somebody's knocking at my door. Unexpectedly, they're going to have to wait because I'm really right in the middle of it. Sorry, bear with me. And as if to demonstrate exactly what I'm talking about, problems with getting the lobby or into the lobby. So yeah, come on guys, come on Fusion guys, have a little look at that, just that aspect of the lobby management, and say, do you know what, it is causing an unnecessary delay to the racing. You know, especially because these guys are getting in the zone. You know, these drivers, they're getting in the zone, they're getting ready, they do that sprint race, they're fired up, they're ready, adrenaline, ready to go for the next race. And then you get this unnecessary delay where they have to come out of the lobby and reset the lobby and find a new lobby and then come in again and do all of that. And it doesn't seem to work. When us at Black Flag, we've competed in Fusion. We did up until the summer break. We've opted to... there's a couple of other tournaments that we're involved in, and we didn't want to stretch ourselves too thin, so we've opted to stick with the stuff that we're doing elsewhere. But when we were running the lobbies, we were quite happy to do it 2 and 2, and it worked absolutely fine. Never really a problem. Okay, so everybody's in. We need to get cracking with this next race. We're already 45 minutes in, and we've only had 5 laps of racing. 10 minutes. Only 10 minutes of that have actually been racing. It was a good race, though, wasn't it? Very, very close together. Very, very close. Interested to see if Bezzy can maintain this. Well, at the moment, what is a 100% record, because they've only had 1 race. Can he maintain a 100% record and win all 4 races here? Will we see Ilka just stepping up and taking that crown? Enjoy, lot to prove for Enjoy. After that first race didn't go very well for Enjoy at all. We'll certainly be looking as one of only 2 ATR drivers in this lobby, certainly looking to improve his teammate Angelov way up the order in comparison, up in the 5th or 6th, if I remember rightly. So just waiting for, I don't know what we're waiting for actually. I don't know what we are waiting for. I think we're waiting for the grid to be set so we can get cracking. Back in 1 minute. Yeah, it's, this delay feels pointless. You know, we're not, we're not sitting here in a studio with a panel of people discussing the 5 laps previously. We're sitting here twiddling our thumbs, waiting for a race to start. It feels dragged out. It doesn't feel very natural to do it this way. So, come on, guys, come on. I've run enough lobbies to tell you that you can move this along a lot quicker. People are coming here to race, and we know that there's a break in between race 2 and race 3. There shouldn't be a 10-minute gap in between race 1 and race 2. Everyone's ready to go. We know they've been ready for ages. Let's get cracking, shall we? Let's get cracking. So 15 laps here at Tokyo. Good opportunity for the drivers in the midfield just to kind of what you really want to do here, because you've got you've got to use the softs and the hards and the mediums. So as both are required, what do? Do you start on the hard compound, or do you start on the medium compound side? Number 1. And number 2, how do you manage the process? Do you just go balls out and use what you've got available, or do you overthink it?
What do we want? Race car noises. When do we want them? Meow.
never gets old for me. That never gets old. We are away, and Enjoy gets the opportunity out in front. Of course, it is complete reverse grid from that race. So we're going to have some quick guys out the back trying to force their way forward. Enjoy had a very, very bad race, but it does serve to give him a good opportunity from the start as they blast up there. Look at that camera angle. Absolutely wonderful. I love the way now you can see this flow. There is Mello. Mello, what a move! Round the outside into turn one. Mello takes the lead here on lap one, but too wide. Clips the wall, and that allows Enjoy back into the lead of the race. Mello did all the hard work there and just got it a little bit too wrong, a little bit too hot, and a little slice on that wall, and he loses that position and loses that momentum. And now we've got a massive gaggle of cars all vying for this position. Forza OP, Forza OP indeed. We're looking there. There is LA, the Italian driver, down in 7th. But it's so close at the moment. I mean, if we go there, we go into that chase cam side by side. They're all almost 3 abreast coming through this section here. Sandwiched between another Italian in the form of Lolo Fantic. Well, briefly anyway. But Ale just kept his foot on that accelerator, having none of that shenanigans with the rest of them. You want to go either side of me? You stay there. I'm going straight on. I don't care about you guys. They all tuck in behind. They don't have a choice. Up ahead, side by side, that's Angelov. That's Kadoglu. Side by side into the hairpin. You've got to drop in now into the right place to get this move nice and tight. You want to keep it lovely and tight here. And then on the power we go. Let's have a look at opted tyre choices for this first stint. Out in the lead, Enjoy still enjoying first place. No one was able to make it stick on lap one. Mello dropping those hard tyres almost immediately. Enjoy starting on those mediums. Batu also on the medium compound tyres. Mello starting on the hard. Angelov, Kadoglu, Ale, Nixo, Lolo Fantic, Ghost, Bezzy, Larry Verdi, Ilka, all ditching tyres early. Oh, actually, no, it's damage for those guys. So a couple of them on the hard tyres ditching those early, but those guys at the back repairing some damage just where they were bouncing off each other, going through that little section through the through sector 2. And it just goes to show how much it affects you having that kind of damage. And if we look now, top 3 last time out, Bezzy, Ilka, Larry Verdi, they're running now 10th, 11th and 12th. And Ilka some 6.5 seconds back, having had to make significant repairs to his car. Already 38 seconds off the lead of this race. That's the position Enjoy found himself in at the end of the sprint. Right now, Enjoy pulling away 1.5 seconds clear of the Turkish driver Batu at the moment and getting quicker and quicker. So it just goes to show that he may have been 26, 28 seconds back at the end of that first race, but by no means was he off the pace. One bad lap can always change things, as can one really, really good lap. 1.3 seconds is the gap at the moment to Batu. Batu also on the medium tyres. 19 seconds is the gap to anybody else. Everybody else has been in the pits. Some just to get rid of those hard compound tyres. Some to get rid of some hard compound damage, to repair some of that carbon fibre that got smashed up on this racetrack. How long is it going to take of these 15 laps for that 19 lap deficit to be eaten into? Now, the question is obviously going to be the fuel and tyres, how long the fuel and tyres can hold out, how long it's going to be before these guys need to go in and do their first pit stop. I do apologise for not being on silent. I thought it was on silent, clearly not. There we go, done now. So Enjoy from Batu, 19 seconds back. It's Kadoglu. He's got Ale right up there behind him, right half a second almost, just over to Mello. 7/10 to Angelov in 6th position. Nixo 3 seconds back, having had to do a few little repairs. Ghost there in 9th place. What happened to Ghost? Lolo Fantic makes the move on Ghost. And does he make it stick? Because Ghost is certainly coming back at him. He doesn't get the move done. So Lolo Fantic does stay ahead. There is Bezzy, winner of the sprint race. 4 seconds back from Ghost in 10th. He'll get in the pits yet again. Gone for the softs. Now, the mediums and hards are required. He has already run both of those compounds. Does this now mean... Can he take these softs to the end? Do they last that long? That's the big burning question. We will, of course, find out very, very soon. I should probably take my jumper off. I'm quite hot. I might do it. I'll do it during the break. So, Enjoy is enjoying the lead here. 0.8 of a second. It's been cut today. It was 1.5 at the end of lap 2. As we're coming towards the end now of lap 3, we can see Batu starting to reel in the ATR driver from Poland. We've got 2 Turkish drivers, both in that top 3. Batu and his teammate and compatriot Kadoglu. Kadoglu 19 seconds back though, and it's not plain sailing for him. He's being hunted down by these 2 Italian drivers, Mello and Ale. This is what it looks like. You can see Mello tucking in behind his teammate Ale, and Ale tucking in behind Kadoglu. Can these guys work together now, being that they are compatriots, to try and rein them in? Well, you can see there, not getting tucked in the slipstream as you would expect. But Mello's going to get a great run on both of these guys. I don't understand there why Ale is not using that slipstream, because side by side, and watch this, straight through the middle. Is he going to make the move for the middle? He's not. He's going to go round the outside. That is a phenomenal move by Mello. Absolute genius. He saw that his compatriot wasn't using the slipstream to its full advantage, so he decided he would do that. That is a phenomenal move. Very, very smart there from Mello. And you see there, he could have gone straight for the middle, opts to get that extra little bit of slipstream off the back of that Turkish driver. Takes both out in one foul swoop up into 3rd place. Phenomenal driving from the Italian. Very, very smart. Don't quite know what Ale was thinking, going side by side, just letting off and sitting in the slipstream for a bit to gain a bit more momentum. Surely was the wise decision there, particularly if you want to look after your tyres and your fuel a little bit. Angelov back in 6th, and getting involved in that battle. You can see there that certainly wants some of it. The head of the battle there is Mello. He currently running in 3rd. He is currently running, or they are currently running in 3rd place. I don't think... Are we at the stage yet where we're having to assume gender pronouns? I hope not. I'm sure someone will tell me if I'm misgendering someone, and then I'll tell them to shut up, because I don't care. Enjoy, you beast. Indeed. I don't know who the beast is. No, he is absolutely beasting at the moment. Absolutely beasting it. And he's maintaining the 0.8 gap to Batu, which is absolute paramount. Doesn't really want Batu any closer. The closer Batu gets, the more that slipstream will benefit him. And it's actually at the moment, these 2 are enjoying not only being 20 seconds clear of the rest of the pack, but they're opening that gap up, because it was... sort of 18, 19 seconds, now out to 20 and a half. So not only have they capitalised on everybody else diving into the pits, they're just starting to edge away. Batu is slowly catching on to the back of Enjoy, but Enjoy is doing everything in his power to keep him behind. Now this is the thing now, you've got to think about your tyres and your fuel, and we can see there, between the 2 of them, not really much difference. The cars behind, all of them have been in the pits for one reason or another. None of them, though, opted to go for fuel when they went in, which to me seems rather strange, because at some stage you're going to have to put some fuel on board. And I understand you're going to want the car lighter, so it's nimble, it's a little bit quicker. But the earlier you get that fuel on board, the earlier you use up all that time in the pit stops, the quicker you're going to be later on. So where you can use that pace to catch up with the cars, you're chasing the cars around you. And when they have to spend 2, 3, 4, 5 extra seconds in the pits, filling up that tank. Time that you don't have to spend anymore. That's where you can really make some gains. And I think when you've got a race like this, which does have some element of jeopardy in the pit stop strategy, and jeopardy in terms of tyre choices and that kind of thing. Sometimes it's the car that makes the gamble. The driver that says, do you know what? I'm going to try something different. Sometimes it's that guy. It's that driver that really can give themselves an edge. Enjoy now, 1 second clear. Batu just dropping off the pace a little bit. Whether that is intentional, I don't know. But we can see it's... do you know what? I've been pretty good with guesstimating lap times. I said at the beginning 2:02. We started out with 2:01s in qualifying. But now 2:04s on these medium tyres. I said 2:02 to 2:04. Happy with that. Very happy with that. Bearing in mind that these drivers are the pinnacle of this championship. So enjoy from Batu, enjoying a very, very easy run out in front here on lap 6. Mello, brilliant move, couple of laps ago to get ahead of Kadoglu, to get ahead of Ale, and he's holding those two guys off. How long is Ale going to be able to hold off, though, the charge from behind? Because the battle at the moment now there, it's Nixo in 7th place. That is the battle for 3rd. There it is. That's the battle for 3rd place, raging from Nixo through Angelov, through Ale, through Kadoglu, and through Mello. Absolutely smashing it. Yes, Team ATR really bringing it to the big boys at the moment. Bringing it with enjoying the lead. Is he still enjoying quite a big gap? Well, 1.4 seconds. Absolutely. Just opening up now and giving himself a nice, comfortable cushion. And the moment that's the moment where you can start to relax a little bit in a race like this, where you've got such a disadvantage when you're giving up toe to the car behind. When you can break that toe, when you can open up that gap so no longer giving benefit to the car behind you, that's when you can just relax into the race a little bit. You still want to keep your wits about, you still want to get your braking zones, you still want to get things right, but you can just start to just kind of think ahead now, not worry about so much what's going on behind, but think ahead. Think about the next few corners, think about the next couple of laps, think about when you're going to be thinking about coming in. What's going to be what was your strategy when you started? Does it still fit within the game plan now you are where you are? What do you want to change to do that? As we see, that's Angelov diving into the pits from 5th position. So that will leave Nixo up into, from 6th position, because that will leave Nixo moving up into 6th. And absolutely revving this out. Top speed, he hasn't got a huge amount of slipstream, getting it up to 192, 193, bumping off the rev limiter at the end of that straight. For me, if you're bumping off the rev limiter that early at the end of the straight, you could probably give yourself a little bit more with your tuning. But I don't think we've seen anyone go. I think 193 miles per hour is the best we've seen thus far. Let's go down. We haven't been down the order much. So there's Ilka. Ilka not enjoying the same fabulous race that he did in the first race. Is way back, 14 seconds back. Does have the fastest lap of the race, though, with a 2-minute 0.9 on those soft compound tyres. But has given himself an awful lot to do from 12th place. We're just reaching this midway point, of course. Angelov comes out of the pits on the hards. Remember, it is a medium and hard compound tyre requirement. We know that Ilka has used both of those. 1 lap on the hards, couple of laps on the mediums, straight onto the softs. Ghost, some damage on the front there. Now, is that damage enough that it's worth repairing, or are you going to wait until you go in for your fuel stop? I think that's for me. I think if I'm damaged now with the fuel that he's carrying now, I think you go in. You go in now, get that repaired, get the fuel on board, worry about it later. Okay, first pit stop for Enjoy and Batu out in the lead. Where is Mello? Here comes Mello now, down this straight. Looks like Mello is going to take the lead of this race. But how much is he going to lead by? Nothing at all is the answer to that, because Enjoy is already out. Batu is already out. The gap is 1.5 seconds. That was absolute brilliance from Enjoy to come out there. But fuel-wise, just haven't. I think what they're doing here, I think they're going to run a singular lap on these hard tyres, dive straight back in, and then do the fuel stop, because they haven't put any fuel on board in that stop, which to me seems incredibly counterproductive. You know, even if you break the fuel stops up into two, and you say, okay, well, I know I'm going to stop again on the hard compound tyres, so go in, couple of little drops of fuel, come back out, run your one lap on your hard tyres or your two laps, whatever you're going to do, come back in a bit more fuel then. It seems to me to be counterproductive to not do that. There is Mello. The gap much, much, much nicer for them now, though. 1.5 seconds. Can now see the back of the cars you're chasing. And there is nothing more demoralising than, you know, you're driving well, you're doing okay, you're chasing down another car, but you can't see the back of the car you're chasing. All you know is there is a time on the screen, and that is a time delta you're trying to bring down. It's much more easy to motivate yourself in that chase when you can see the car that you are chasing, and boy can he see it. The thing is, though, it's going to be fuel stop time. This pit window firmly open now, pretty much for everybody. Enjoy, Batu, they had been in, but they've only gone in literally for some hard compound tyres for what looks like just the one lap. Everyone's sticking to this left-hand side. How many going to go in? Enjoy in, Batu in, that's Mello in. Nixo, Ale, they're all in. Bezzy's in. Lolo Fantic in. Angelov. Angelov's definitely got to come in. If he makes it, there is fumes keeping that car going at the moment. Just bare fumes. Into the pits he will go from 8th position. Ilka, a couple of laps left in him yet. Starting to fight his way through the field. And the fastest man out there. So Ilka taking the lead of this race. He will need to stop again for fuel. But can he build? Now bear in mind he's on the soft compound tyres. Has this been an absolute masterstroke from Ilka? Because Ilka was plumb last. Plumb last. Ran the medium tyres for a couple of laps. Hard tyres for one lap. And was happy just to kind of sit there. You know, 18, 19 seconds adrift. Now, 16.5 seconds in the lead. On the soft compound tyres. Probably one more lap of fuel remaining in the car. This is probably the time to go in. You've got those soft tyres. You've got significant momentum. You're building a gap. Actually, the gap's actually getting bigger. The cars behind you have been in, but this is your chance now. You're going to have to spend some time in there, and you can see there that they need almost a full tank of fuel to make. Well, no, not even quite. Almost a full tank of fuel to make it to the end. But there is Enjoyed now on the soft compound tyres. Pretty much everybody, I think, has used the mandatory compounds. Just flicking through to see if anybody has got any other compound on other than the soft. And the answer to that question is a resounding hell no. We are going racing, baby. We're going to start to see these lap times a tumble. Are we going to see a sub 2 minute lap here in race trim? Not qualifying, but race trim. As Ilka has built a gap of 18.5 seconds as he rounds that hairpin and heads towards the pits. I can't imagine he's going to try and stretch that field out for another lap. So we'll see Ilka pull over to this left-hand side and dive into the pits. He's going to have to put in somewhere just over 3/4 of a tank of fuel to ensure that he makes it to the end at this stage. In he goes. Now, you get this right fuel-wise, you get this spot on, this could be very, very close. Now we're looking at Enjoy, 1.5 seconds, still the lead over Nixo. Well, in fact, Enjoy was Mello, I think it was Mello, it was Batu. So Batu really losing out, back in 8th position. So Enjoy coming through, Nixo coming through, Ale, Kadoglu, Mello, Batu well off the pace. There is Ilka in the pits. Who else is through? Larry Verdi, Lolo Fantic, Batu, all going through. And that 3 litres a second, just chugging in. Too much fuel in Ilka's car. Valuable seconds wasted, spending too much time putting more fuel in than necessary. You're 2/3 through the race. You had a full tank to start with. You only need half a tank, just over half a tank of fuel. I said 3/4. 3/4 would have been bang more than enough to see you to the end of this race. But Ilka carried on going. Down in 10th. I think that's cost him. The time that he could have used to close on those front runners. So Enjoy still leading this race after having a terrible sprint. But out in front, but the gap is by no means comfortable. It's only 0.8 of a second. You've got Ale, the Italian, and Nixo, the Polish driver, battling it out for second place and for the right to challenge Enjoy down that long straight. And it's a 4-5 car battle at the moment. You can see back here from way back at Bezzy here in 6th. Batu, who was enjoying a lovely little run with Enjoy, out in the lead of this race, back in 7th at the moment. But there's Bezzy. Interesting line through there. Bezzy, you see some of the cars treat it almost like a double apex, that hairpin, where they stick nice and tight up the inside. But Bezzy's one of the few drivers that go wide and really late apex it to get on the power a little bit earlier. Now, you can see here, look, watch this slipstream in action, closing on the EES driver just up ahead. Was that EES? No, it's not. That's Kadoglu, isn't it? It's the Borderless Esports driver, isn't it? As he closes on the back of him, heading up the hill now. Is he going to get one overtake done? Certainly going to get one done. Is he going to get two done? It's going to be bravery on the brakes into turn 1. One overtake done. Can't make the second one. Door closed. Round the outside. Kadoglu trying to hold on. Can't do so. Staying there again. Bezzy sticks up ahead of Kadoglu and still chasing down the two Italians now. Mello and Ale just up ahead. So Enjoy still leading this race. Nixo putting a bit of pressure on behind. You can see here we're riding with Bezo, who has got just behind him Kadoglu. This top 6 all vying for the front spot at the moment, and it is literally that close. That is your top 5 cars. You can see them there. We can go back one. We can look at Kadoglu there. Any one of these 6 right now could win this race. We're not going to count out Larry Verdi. We're not going to count out Batu. Those guys have got some pace. We've seen Ilka showing some pace, although he's overfueled his car significantly in comparison to everybody else. Look at that. For me, I think he overcooked it in the fuel stakes, but it is what it is. Down to the hairpin to complete lap 11, and I want to do a lap on board, but like that with Kadoglu. As we watch this battle heading down this straight. Absolutely love this view. It really does give you a sense of what it's like to be a passenger in this car. And here we go in the slipstream. We saw Bezzy make a move on Kadoglu on that last lap. Is Kadoglu going to return the favour here? Is he going to get close enough with the slipstream? We're looking up ahead, seeing if anyone else is able to get a move done. But it looks actually like the gap is getting bigger rather than smaller. So the slipstream not benefiting Kadoglu in any way at all. The slip out in front for Bezzy. Look at this. Bezzy going to make a second move in succession, lap after lap, having a look up the inside, thinking about it. They're going through abreast almost up ahead. That's a dangerous thing to do. Are they all going to lose out here? That's a great move up ahead from Mello on Ali. He's making another move here. Look at this battle. Absolutely stonking fight as Nixo takes the lead of this race from Enjoy. We're riding right on board here, side by side. Bezo makes the move through on Mello. Mello has to tuck in behind. Ali behind him. Absolutely stonking battle. Top three now, all Polish drivers. We've got two of the EES boys. We've got the ATR boy, Enjoy. He's still in there, still fighting. He's had the lead pretty much this entire race. But now Nixo's turned on the power. He's slam dunk the funk. And already 1.5 seconds clear. Now he's taken the lead of this race, riding on board with Enjoy. And he will not enjoy this because you look in those mirrors behind. And what do you see? That's a Bezzy chasing after me. Behind Bezzy, there's a Mello. Behind the Mello, there's an Ale. Behind Ale, there's Batu. Behind Batu, there's Kadoglu. Behind Kadoglu, there's Larry Verdi. Behind him, Lolo Fantic. It is absolute carnage. These guys duking it out. Anyone, 5 seconds after 12 laps here, just 5 seconds separating the top 9 drivers here, and it is changing hands second by second, corner by corner, lap by lap. But Nixo the man of the moment, he bode his time. He stuck it in there. He kept it in and amongst that midfield. Didn't push too hard. Took the chances when the chances came. And boy, when it came, did he grab it with both hands. 1.9 seconds clear now of Bezzy. And we know Bezzy's got the pace because Bezzy did it in that sprint race. Bezzy working his way up into second. Enjoy now has to settle for third. Starting to drop down the order. Was at one stage a couple of seconds clear. Now finding himself getting swallowed up by these drivers as they start to ramp up the pace now in these last couple of laps. They've all been taking it nice and easy, looking after the cars. You can see how much these cars have overfueled. Surprisingly, I know, look, they know they're going to have to push, but it does surprise me just how much these cars have overfueled to go to the end of this race. You would have thought that they would... bearing in mind that it's a 3 litre per second refill, you would want to maximise your track time and reduce that time sitting in the pits, chucking that very expensive gold stuff in your car. So, 1.8 seconds is the lead for Nixo, the Polish driver, leading the charge. His teammate Bezzy just behind, vying to make it 2 from 2. At the moment, it's 2 podiums from 2. Can he make it 2 wins from 2? As Bezzy closing that gap slowly on his teammates. Enjoy has led this race from lap 1, but now finds himself in third and being hunted like a gazelle in the plains of Africa. Being hunted down by all of these drivers. Nixo and Bezzy have already got their prey. Mello now is the next one to charge. But he at the moment has got to deal with Ale tucked in behind. He's got to deal with Batu tucked in behind as they go side by side. Batu making the move on the Italian driver, sandwiched between those 2 Italians. That's where you don't want to be on lap 14 of this race. Sandwiched between 2 Italians. Tries to make the move. Tries to get himself out of the Italian sandwich. Can he make it work? He does. Batu up into 4th. Great little overtake there. Takes out both Italian drivers in essentially 1.5 corners up into 4th. Can he now put the charge on Enjoy? Enjoy will like seeing the battle going on behind because while they're fighting each other, they're not fighting him. Lolo Fantic riding on board now. Chase cam for Lolo Fantic. Another Italian driver there at the back of that snake. That's a snake where Kadoglu catches the barrier there. But Lolo Fantic not quite in the right shape to capitalise on it. And Kadoglu survives. Has that damaged Kadoglu's car in any way? It has damaged his car. That in a straight line is going to be slower than he would like. So Lolo Fantic is going to have a really, really good opportunity now to really push up on the back of Kodoglu and give him something to think about. And there we go. That's the move we were expecting straight away before we even get to this big braking zone. So Lolo Fantic up to 8th place. We round this hairpin for the ultimate time. It is Nixo leading by just half a second from Bezzy. Bezzy starting to reel him in. Is he going to get this job done? Top 2 now, 2.5 seconds clear of Enjoy, who for a while was enjoying the lead of this race. Now is about to find out what it's like to not be in the top 3. As Batu continues his charge forward. Mello with another double overtake from Mello up into 3rd. Phenomenal move there. Just watch this. Sits in the slipstream of 1. He knows he's going to get the run. He watches the car make the move. Takes that slipstream. Takes that slipstream. Says see you later. Flicks the glasses down. Whacks on the air conditioning and just leans back in his chair. Oh yeah. Up into 3rd goes Mello. So Bezzy leads now from Nixo. Didn't get a chance to see that move. I wonder if we can get that move watched. No, he'd already got the move done while we were watching behind. That was another slipstream move, I imagine, from Bezzy up into the lead of this race. Nixo is right there. Their teammates, they're not gonna risk taking each other out, but it just goes to show that all's fair in love and war, and this might be a team competition, but every man for himself. Mello up into 3rd, starting now to just put a little bit of a gap on Batu. Enjoy, who was leading this race, started on pole, down to 5th, and now under very, very real pressure from Larry Verdi, from LA, just behind. Lolo Fantic there as well. Kodoglu still sticking with that battle. How long can they hold off? Ilka back in 10th, 9.9 seconds off the pace. Angelov 6 seconds back, and behind there, Ghost really struggling with 12 seconds behind. So where are we in terms of the leaders? There's Bezzy. There is Nixo. We're heading down towards the line. Anything other than a breakdown, and this is 2 from 2 from Bezzy. As we head to the line, Bezzy will make it 2 from 2. 100% win for Bezzy. Nixo in 2nd. Mello takes 3rd. Batu 4th. Enjoy holds on for 5th. Larry Verdi in 6th. Ale in 7th. Lolo Fantic holds on for 8th. Kodoglu in 9th. Ilka some 8 seconds back, crosses the line in 10th position. Angelov 6.2 seconds back in 11th place. Across the line he comes. And last but by no means least is another EES driver, and that is Ghost. He's not really a ghost, you can see him, he's right there, and he's not dead. He will cross the line in 12th position, slowing his car down as he runs out of fuel. Agonisingly to the line he comes. Job done. Bish, bash, bosh. What a race. Some great overtakes there. Full classified rundown. Bezzy and Nico, teammates and compatriots, with a 2 minutes 0.7 for Bezzy, which I think was also the fastest lap of the race. Nico coming home very closely, just 7 tenths back in 2nd. They built themselves a 3.5 second gap over Mello. Batu not too far behind in 4th. Enjoy takes 5th. Larry Verdi takes 6th. 7th for Ale. Lolo Fantic takes 8th position. Kodoglu takes 9th. Ilka taking 10th. Angelov in 11th. Ghost in 12th. And that is your classified rundown. We're going to take a 10-minute break, and then we will be back with more action of the same. Let's not do that. I will see you all in... I'll be back in about 8 minutes' time. How about that? See you soon, folks. Welcome back. Welcome back indeed. I'll tell you what, that was a little bit good, wasn't it? We're fucking damn straight it was. That was some great racing, particularly that feature race. What a finish that was. I can't even remember how many overtakes there were. There was just that many. I probably should have written them down, but that would mean that I was some kind of professional. And genuinely, I'm just a fan like you guys. Absolutely loved it. It was some great racing. I'll tell you what, 2 from 2 from Bezzy. Bezzy is bringing it. Absolutely bringing it. And we're going to go straight back into it. 5 minutes of qualifying this time, 15 minutes first time out. This time, just a 5-minute qualifying session. That's enough for 2 hot laps. 1 really hot lap and 1 possibly another hot lap. Qualifying is about to begin. I think we do nothing but get straight back involved with some more of this wonderful action. Qualifying in progress. Come on, Piddy, please don't make me have to do this every single time I log in. It looks dumb. That's what it does. I hate it. If you are just joining us and you haven't got a clue what's going on, this is GT Fusion Next Level World Team Championships 2023. We have returned from our summer holiday. It is round number 4 at Tokyo Expressway in the Amuse. Amuse, I don't know what I called it. I can't like it. It's the Amuse Nismo 380R Super Leggera. It is tuned to 519 brake horsepower, minimum weight of 1,270 kilograms. We move very swiftly on to race number 3. Qualifying for this, just 5 minutes. Heavy damage, of course. We're now in the afternoon. We started at sunrise. We've done our morning race. We're now in the afternoon, and then we'll move on, of course, to another feature race. And that feature race will be in the evening when it's getting nice and dark. So we'll see how everyone gets on. Can we see a 3 from 3 for the Polish drivers, looking incredibly strong here today. You've got to feel for Enjoy. Enjoy had a terrible sprint race last time out. Found himself on the front of the grid, of course, for the feature race because it's a reverse grid type scenario. That's how it works. Couldn't hold on. Couldn't even hold on to a top 3 in the end. For me, although Mello didn't win the race, Mello pulled off some awesome overtakes, some very smart overtakes, some really solid use of the biggest benefit of this track, which is its slipstream. Absolutely phenomenal. Tyre wear is -5. Absolutely fine for super softs through qualifying, of course. They do have to use the medium compound tyres for the 5-lap sprint race following this. And then the 15-lap race, of course. It looks like the strategy is 1 lap on the hards, a couple of laps maybe on the mediums, but essentially just go flat out on those soft sport tyres. EES very much dominating this race and very much dominating the whole team series at the moment. If I remember right, I think EES are the top running team at the moment. Prima, who are the reigning champions, nowhere to be seen. Can't remember. As far as I'm aware, Black Flag have not competed in this round. Competed in the first 3 rounds. Not competed in this round just because of the clash with our own World Championship. You may have seen it during the intermission, GT Alphas, GT3 World Championship, which is why we haven't opted to compete. And to be fair, we're not competing at this level. We've got a couple of drivers that are probably this kind of pace, but haven't been able to work our way up there, and we haven't been in Fusion long enough to do so. We're comfortably mid-table, but nowhere near the performance of these EES drivers. At absolutely phenomenal pace. Phenomenal pace from all of them, to be fair. They're all showing incredible speed. 159s. There were a couple of those in the qualifying session last time out. Are we going to see sub 2 minute qualifying laps again here in this second of the 2 qualifying sessions? The number 9 car of Nixo leads us out. He is our host for this evening. Let's get a nice little beautiful on board going, shall we? That's not the one I wanted. That's the one I wanted. I like that little camera. We just look over the bonnet there. You really get the sense of speed here. Sticking to that left-hand side. Flat out across the line. Here we go. That's the 201. That's the out. That's the first hot lap there for Nixo. Not quite good enough for pole. Good enough for the front row though. Angelov with a 201.0 for pole position. Straight away, Ale, the Italian driver, with a 2-minute 0.8. Anyone going to beat that? Enjoy putting in a 202.3. Larry Verdi showed incredible pace, but with a 209, that's not going to cut it for pole. Sub 2 minute, not quite. Ilka, in fact, it's Ilka and Batu, the two Turkish drivers on the front row now. It's a Turkish lockout very briefly, but there he is, the man who's currently sitting on a potential hat-trick. Can he make it 3 from 3 as Bezzy puts himself on pole yet again? He was on pole, won the sprint race, fought his way all the way through the field in the feature race to take a win in that feature race as well. Currently sitting on pole ahead of the two Turkish drivers, Ilka and Batu. Ale, the lead Italian driver, currently on row 2 with Batu. Row 3 at the moment, Angelov and Nixo with 201.1 and a 201.0 respectively. Lolo Fantic going to get a nice slipstream here from Nixo. Is that going to help with the lap time? Certainly won't do any harm. You tucked this closely in here on qualifying as we see that ES driver going incredibly wide there. Obviously not on such a hot lap. One last chance. Is this enough to get Lolo Fantic on that front row? That's his best time thus far. It's not purple though. It's not going to be a pole position time if you can't get purple, but this could be a significant improvement. Using that slipstream as they go into the tunnel. Has to pull out of the slipstream to go across the line. Angelov with a 201.0, a 2.9 for Lolo Fantic, puts him just behind his compatriot in 5th. So it is Bazzy. It's Bezzy on pole with Ilka joining him on that front row. Batu in 3rd. Can anyone usurp them from there? Doesn't look like it thus far. Yes, they can. That's Kadoglu up into 3rd. We've got the 3 Turkish drivers in the lobby, all sitting 2nd, 3rd and 4th. That's a nice green sea of borderless esports cars on that front and 2nd row. That's not a bad start there. So there we go. It's Bezzy from Ilka, Kadoglu and Batu on row 2, Ale and Lolo Fantic on row 3. It's Angelov and Larry Verdi rounds out that top 8 for row 4. Nixo and Mello on row 5. Enjoy and Ghost on row 6. Enjoy, who had so much of that feature race in the lead before just getting swallowed up in the last few laps. So we're all ready to go. Nothing to wait for here. Let's get straight into this race. Boom Shankar, ready signal is up. There we go. You know I'm ready. Always am. I probably should get like a lobby screen that just covers that bit for when qualifying's done. But that would involve me actually doing some work. Right. All eyes on Bezzy for this race, because it's time for Bezzy to go 3 from 3. I'm sure Ilka and Kadoglu, Batu, Ale, they're all going to have something to say about it. Larry Verdi, Mello, who showed incredible pace through that feature race. He's certainly going to have something to say about it. They're not going to let this go. These drivers are all very, very quick. Right, into it. Let's get these done. Turn that off. Turn that on. Boom Shankar.
What do we want? Race car noises. When do we want them? Meow.
Such a child. That's 4 lights. That's 5. You know what happens now? We are go here at Tokyo Expressway. Round 4. Just 2 races left for these guys to get as many points as possible for their team. Bezzy leads the way out, but we know what happens when you get to turn one. He's got those 3 green GT borderless esports cars hunting him down into turn one. There goes Ilka one way round the outside, looking to make the move. He's up into the lead. Is he going to get followed by Batu? Can he hold him off? Got Bezzy there on the inside, holding that inside line. He's not going to get the best of exits though, because you want to really let the car drift out as you come through. So Ilka taking the lead from Bezzy. Remember, these two fought it out in that sprint race last time, so nothing changed there. Batu's there, Kadoglu's there. They're duking it out for third place. A little bit of team action going on. Now he's sandwiched there, that EES driver. He's got no teammates anywhere near him to give him any assistance against this fight at the moment. We've got Lolo Fantic there. We've got the only Greek driver in the lobby, Larry Verdi, there in 6th. We've got Ale there, the Italian driver, in 7th. Angelov there in 6th. In 8th. 9th place is the next EES driver on the grid, which is not there to help his teammate at the moment. Bezzy kind of alone, surrounded in Turkish territory right now. So Ilka leads the way. Now, this is where actually GTB are in a really, really good position. If Batu and Kadoglu can keep up with this battle, when Bezzy invariably makes the move or tries to make the move on Ilka with the slipstream, if one of those guys, Batu or Kadoglu, can stick with him with the slipstream and follow him through, and potentially do what I'm going to refer to from this point on as the mellow, which is the double overtake, they can potentially keep that EES driver behind them for this entire 5-lap race. And Ilka with the fastest lap so far with a 2:12.9. Of course, it's going to be a little bit anomalous because they started from a standing start. And Bezzy not looking close enough at this stage to make that move. So Ilka holding on. He's closing, but is he closing enough? Doesn't look like it. It looked like he was having a look up the inside, thinking about it potentially. But at the moment, he's got to look in his mirrors. Because if we look here, I mean, this is the battle at the moment for the top 4. That's Kadoglu. A little bit further back, we've got Lolo Fantic. And these 4 now just starting to pull away. Lolo Fantic will want to close that 1 second gap down as best as possible and try to help that pack he's with, the pack that he leads with Larry Verdi and Angelov and Ale. Try and help that pack along to stick with these out front. But look at Ilka just creating a gap out front now, trying to break that 1 second gap, trying to break that slipstream range. And what that does, that benefits Batu and Kadoglu greatly. If Ilka can pull away, get that 1 second gap broken, not give Bezzy that slipstream, it leaves him vulnerable to Ilka's teammates Batu and Kadoglu, currently running in 3rd and 4th, because if they're getting slipstream off Bezzy and Bezzy's getting no help from out front, it's really going to put him under pressure. He does close though that gap, doesn't allow Ilka to get away, which is sensible. Do not let him do it. Of course, they're all running medium compound tyres for this sprint race. It's not a consideration for pit stops, unless, of course, you spin your car into a wall and set yourself on fire. So there we go. Let's go on board with Ilka. And you can see here he's flat out through here. 2:03.2 is not the quickest of laps, to be fair. And we can see there now, Bezzy closing. Is he closing enough, though? That really is the question. Look at this. It looks like Bezzy might be in a position to make this move. Round the outside he goes into the braking zone. Not quite close enough under braking. Little tap in the back. Hello, Ilka. I am here. A little tap in the back to let him know he's there. Nothing that sets the Borderless Esports driver into a wall or anything like that. No damage done. So they continue on without the need for steward's inquiry. And in all fairness, I think there's probably been one incident that I've seen that possibly could be a steward's issue. And that was at the beginning of the feature race. There was a few comings together, but I think all in all, these drivers are not only incredibly talented, but incredibly respectful of each other. And you can see that. Look at the steering wheel adjustments that Bezzy has to make every time he gets on that power. You look how he has to fight that steering wheel just to keep the car on an equilibrium. That the tyres just want to kill you every time you push down that power and ask it to do something a little bit powerful. You see that again, little adjustments having to be made to stop the car spinning out of the corners into the big braking zone here. He's still within that kind of ideal half a second almost that you want to be. And on the power again, any little adjustments this time? No. Lower gears, just there's not quite the torque that's going to send those back wheels into a spinning frenzy as you come out of the final corner. So here we go, another opportunity. Can he get it done this time? I don't think he's close enough. Now they've actually pulled away now from the other two Turkish drivers in Batu and Kadoglu. You can see back there, just not in that slipstream range. So it is now just the Ilka and Bezzy show on these 5 laps. We're on lap 4 already. This is where Bezzy's really going to want to get it done. There's not really going to be another opportunity if he can't get it done here. And round the outside he goes, and you can see him topping out at 180 odd miles an hour down that straight. He's not getting the 193s and stuff that we're seeing from some of them. Again, just fighting with that car through this succession of corners. It just wants to kill him every time he really gets on that power. And it's allowing Batu's now closed back up to within that 1 second. Kadoglu there as well. They've pulled away now, top 4 pulling away. There's Ale back there in 5th place. He's got a comfortable gap over Angelov, who is not so comfortable with Larry Verdi chasing him down. Larry Verdi's got Lolo Fantic involved there as well. That's a 4-way battle. Mello involved. Even Nixo's there. Enjoy's there. Enjoy having a much better race this time. Was miles back by this stage last time. So Ghost there, just a little bit adrift. So we look there. I mean, that is a battle. That's a 4, 5 car, 6 car battle. You can see there. Potentially, you've got Enjoy there, currently in 11th, who could potentially be looking at sort of 5th or 6th place if something happens just ahead. You can see there, I mean, it's so close between them. 7 seconds separating Enjoy there in 7th place and Ilka out in the lead. He's still holding off that charge of Bezzy. So there we go. Ilka rounds that final corner, heads towards the line, has the half-second gap. It's going to be very difficult now for Bezzy to do anything about it as they start on this penultimate lap. This really is going to be Bezzy's last opportunity when they go into turn 1. He's going to need to get much closer. Batu is going to try and do the same thing if he can. That's a personal best there from Batu. Not only a personal best, but that is the fastest lap of the race so far with a 2:02.5. So Batu definitely having a little go to see if he can join his teammates on road 2 of the podium as Bezzy makes the move. Is it too little too late, or has he got the job done? Into turn 1 and he's got that job done. How can he hold on now? Is Ilka now under significant pressure from his teammate? Are they going to play the team game here and bring all 4 of those cars home in those 2nd, 3rd and 4th place? Is there the potential for a bit of a bump draft maybe? We're on the last lap, so it's going to be difficult because I don't think they're going to have enough of a run down to the line for it to work. But if Batu or Kadoglu could just give them a little nudge, and there's Ilka round the outside. That's a brave place to try and make that move. Side by side through there. Balls of steel. Absolute massive cojones. He is fighting that car every corner, looking for the slightest of gaps, the slightest of opportunities. Did he clip the wall a little bit there? He did. Ilka losing out, Batu going through. Is Batu going to try and pick up the baton and have a go at Bezzy, or has Bezzy now just got that little bit of a breather? Can he now breathe a sigh of relief? Well, definitely, because Ilka really losing out. Ilka dropping down the order. He's been taken by his teammates. Larry Verdi, Ale have got through as well. What a big loss that is for for Ilka on this last lap. So there is Bezzy, comes round the last turn. 1 second clear. It's going to be 3 from 3 for the EES driver, Bezzy. Absolutely dominant here today at Tokyo Expressway. Dominating this race without a care in the world. He sat there, he just stuck in behind Ilka. He knew it was coming. Batu in third, Kadoglu in fourth. Larry Verdi snatches fourth, Angelov snatches fifth. Ilka has to settle for sixth after clipping the wall there, trying to find a way around Bezzy. Lolo Fantic in seventh. We'll do the full rundown now, shall we? Congratulations there. So here we go. It is Bezzy from Batu, Kadoglu from Larry Verdi, Angelov from Ilka, Lolo Fantic from Ale, Mello from Nixo, Enjoy from Ghost. Enjoy this time a lot closer to the action than he was this time in the last race. So one more to go. Please don't do a new lobby. Please don't do a new lobby, man. Saving the replay. Bezzy's not happy about something, or Ilka's not happy about something, but they're going to do a new lobby, which is wholly unnecessary in my opinion again. But there we go. Is what it is. New lobby is being created. So it's the Bezzy show. It's the EES and the Bezzy show today. But all the pressure now, all the pressure is on Bezzy to make it a clean sweep 4 out of 4. Nobody on that racetrack but Bezzy is going to want that to happen. Even his own teammates are going to want to try and get some involvement on the front of that grid. But of course, you know, it's reverse grid. He's got to come from the back. That's lobby C. That's not the one we want. We're waiting for our lobby A to arrive. So yeah, race 4 already underway for lobby C, and race 4 underway for lobby B as well. So we're running behind here in lobby A, which you would have thought would be a bit more like clockwork, bearing in mind that these guys are the pinnacle of the professional drivers here for GT Fusion. Brought to you by, of course, Next Level Racing, taking racing to the next level. Alex Ipe, Speebles, Printalino, and esports team manager. And of course, us here at Black Flag Racing TV. You will know it, we've got our own People Sport. Do want to give a quick plug to the Proper Blokes Club. You see them there on the left hand side of your screen. There's some information down below. Do check them out. Men's mental health charity gets men talking, and you know, try to improve the numbers of men suicides. And by improve I mean reduce the number of male suicides, because men just don't talk about what's occurring. And if you like music and you want it to make you happy, check out Swarm 6, our music partner. All the original music you hear on Black Flag Racing TV, for the most part, comes from Swarm 6, in either their current incarnation as Swarm 6 or a previous incarnation as another band. But check them out, they are awesome. Don't forget to drop a like if you like what you see, and share it to your friends. In fact, I want you to go and knock on your neighbour's door right now and say, check out this YouTube channel. And stand there while they subscribe. I'm kidding, don't do that. Just give it a like. If you like what you see, it helps Facebook know, not Facebook, helps YouTube know that you like it, and it will show it to other people, and it will help the channel grow. And if the channel grows, you grow with us. Awesome. Right, so one more race to go. 15 more laps of Tokyo Expressway. We get to find out who is the creme de la creme of the creme de la creme. These are the best 11-12 drivers available this time out for GT Fusion. They are in the top lobby for a reason. It's because they're very, very good drivers. Very, very good. You're not here by accident. If you're racing here, it's because you are very good at what you do. 2 rounds remain before we can crown our world team champions for 2022. 3. I can tell you now that the way it's looking, the reigning champions Prima will not be retaining their championship. And I can't tell you how long it's been that Prima have been dominating here at GT Fusion. But this year it's looking like EES are bringing the pain at the moment. GTGC, great Gran Turismo Greek community, they're not far off the pace as well. They are also giving us some really, really exciting racing. So I think everyone's in. They're just going to have to wait for Bezzy and Kodoglu. Once they've ticked in, the grid can be set. And then we can get cracking with our 15 laps of racing. Of course, it's reverse grid. That's what the last race was for. It sets up a reverse grid for the feature race. And it will be Bezzy at the back of the pack yet again. Going to have to fight his way through the pack as he did in the previous feature race to win. All the pressure is on Bezzy to win this. This is going to be in the evening. It's going to be a little bit darker, or so it's certainly going to be darker than it was previously. Yes, we are indeed ready. Gladiators are ready. Grid is set and we will get cracking. Now, Enjoy was led the feature race for I think 12 or 13 laps of the 15 last time out, and just towards the end just couldn't sustain that pace out front and got caught by quite a few cars in the end and finished outside that top 3. So I think we're all ready to go, so we're just waiting for them to get started and we can catch up with more of this action. This is, of course, the final race of the 4. This is round 4 of the GT Fusion Next Level World Team Championship 2023. This is Lobby A. This is where the big boys come to play. Lobby A, where the big boys come to play. I'm a poet and I don't even know it. Our race will begin shortly. That's the countdown for that. Let's get involved. And why is that not opening up? There we go. Let's display all, get rid of the driver names off. And one more time for luck.
What do we want? Race car noises. When do we want them? Meow.
Right, here we go, and we are away for the final time here for GT Fusion. And it's Kodoglu that leads us out this time. Enjoy, looking to try and get back into the lead and maybe have a little bit more luck. Maybe lead 14 of 15 laps or even 15 of the 15 laps. Had a very, very comfortable lead early on. But look at that Ghost. Tucked right in behind Enjoy, heading up to turn 1. Ghost pulling out of the slipstream into the braking zone. Can Ghost get that move done? That looked like a car in the wall. Who was that crashed? See if we can find what happened there. It looked to me that was a big crash there from Ilka. Looking now to see if we can see what happened. Didn't look like Ilka was caught by anyone. It looked to me that the back of the car just snapped under the pressure of what he was asking the car to do, and ploughed him into the wall. So he will be pitting at the end of this lap. That's quite significant damage there. You can see here that he's damaged front and rear of the car. Anyone else pick up any damage in that? It doesn't look like it. Right, so medium tyres for Enjoy. For Ghost, we're on the hard compound tyres. This is what Enjoy did last time. Went hell for leather out on those mediums, built himself a bit of a gap. Nixo on those hards, as is Ale. Batu on those mediums. We want to try and get past those hard tyre runners ahead as quickly as possible. Hards for Mello, hards for Lolo Frantic, and for Angelov, and also for Larry Verdi. Kodoglu on the mediums, losing loads of places really early on there. Not having any damage either. That's a bit of a blow. Bezzy was briefly up into 10th place past Larry Verdi. Larry Verdi holding on those hards, as is Bezzy. And Ilka on those mediums, already catching back up, but significant damage. I imagine we'll see Ilka just pulling over to the left-hand side and diving into the pits. Well, that's Ghosting getting rid of the hard compound tyres. All those hard compound tyre runners in. Ilka, a little bit of an anomaly for his strategy, was running those mediums, but having to come into the pits. So enjoy Batu and Kadoglu staying out. Very similar to last time out. Very, very similar. Out comes Ale on those medium compound tyres. They have to run the hards and the mediums. They don't have to only use the hards and mediums. They can use the softs as long as they use the two mandatory compounds. Well, not necessarily first. They can use them. They could start on the softs if they really wanted to, and come back and revisit the required tyres later. Doesn't seem like a very wise strategy to me, but they could do if they wanted. But certainly the big strategy seems to be getting rid of those hard tyres early on. Now, I'm going to be brutally honest about this. If there is a racing competition that has a tyre requirement for hard compound tyres, every single time you see it, people just use it for one lap and get rid of it, and I don't like it. If you're going to put tyres like that into a race and say, okay, you have to use the hard compound, there should be a mandatory 5 or 10 racing laps, or you must use it for a full stint. You can't just come out for one lap and then chuck them back in. For me, I think there should be a requirement they are used for a full racing stint. Otherwise, what is the point of having a mandatory tyre that people are only going to use for one lap? It just seems incredibly counterproductive to racing for me. But it is what it is. If there is a way to exploit the rules, they will be exploited. And that's exactly what happens in this instance. They run it, and to be fair, it's not even really one full lap, because they start on the grid, they go down and they dive into the pits and they get rid of them before they finish that first lap. So enjoy 2.7 seconds clear of Batu. Very similar picture to what we saw in the last feature race as we start lap 3 of 15 here at Tokyo Expressway. Kadoglu running in third. So we've got those Borderless Esports guys still mixing it around the top end, trying to chase down Enjoy. And make sure that he doesn't enjoy this race as much as he has done thus far. Ale, the Italian driver in fourth. He's got a 12-second gap to make up to the top 3. Of course, he has pit already. Top 3 have not. 2.9 seconds back to, I was going to say, Larry Verdi. It is Larry Verdi battling out with Angelov into turn 1. Good little battle between those two. Which is raging on still. Can Angelov get that move done? He can't. He has to tuck in behind and wait and see. Little battle there. That is Nixo with Angelov and Larry Verdi having a little battle between themselves for 5th position at the moment. 4th is kind of in a bit of no man's land. Not really mixing it with the top 3, but far enough ahead of these guys to not have to worry about them at the moment. Bezzy already up to 8th position. We know how quick this guy is. We know that he's going to be vying for a 4 out of 4. 24 seconds off the lead as it currently stands here on lap 3. Ghost, you can see Bezzy ahead, but can he catch him? That's a whole nother requirement. And it looked like he was just losing his car there. And he did mellow. Overtake master is Mello. He's making some moves is Mello, the INC racing driver. And up to 9th place goes Mello, and starting to try and close that 1.5 second deficit to Bezzy the Bulldog, is what I'm going to call him, after his antics thus far. Running in 11th, just behind Ghost, that's Lolo Fantic, another Italian driver. And actually at the moment, Ghost is sandwiched between those two Italians. INC racing drivers, and Ilka, after having that horrific accident in turn 1, has got the car repaired, but is 15 seconds off the pace at the moment. A lot of work for Ilka to do to try and get there. He's got to close the 15 seconds to Lolo Fantic before he's even back in the mix with the rest of the cars. So a lot of time lost for him. He's gone straight onto those soft compounds. He will still need to run the hard compound tyre at some stage. That is a very, very important thing to differentiate. I didn't see him in the pits unless he went in on another lap, but I can't imagine that he did, being how much work he had to have done. But the replay will tell if he didn't. If you cheat, you will get caught. And there have been people that have got caught off. To be fair, I'm a grass. I will fully grass you up if I catch you doing something. Yeah, well, it is what it is. That's what I'm here for, right? 2.4 seconds now is the lead for Enjoy out in front. You can see those two GT Builders Esports guys of Batu and Kadoglu both trying to find a way to close that gap at the moment, but it's no avail. Maybe they're looking after their fuel a little bit. I mean, the fact that Enjoy's on those mediums, Batu on the mediums, Kadoglu also on those mediums, they're still going to have to run some hard compound tyres. Now we know what they're going to do is most likely what they did last time out, which is come in as the fuel's running really, really low, so they can get obviously maximise the best speed they can. Put on the set of hard tyres for that one racing lap, come in and then fuel up and put on some soft compound tyres to run to the end of the race. LA's still in a very unique position there in fourth. 13 seconds off the front three, but 4.1 seconds clear of Larry Verdi, who is at the head of a pack of a few. Larry Verdi and Nixo there. You see the lights coming on as they head into the tunnel, and there is Angelov following him, and then Bazzi. 1.3 seconds back is the king of the overtake, Mello, or king of the slipstream overtake, Mello, who loves a double overtake, does this boy. We've seen him already making some brilliant double overtakes in that last feature race. Can he do the same again? Who knows? Excuse me. Back of the pack is Ilka making any inroads. He's closed. It was 12 seconds. He's closed that to 9 seconds to Ghost. Has put in the fastest lap of the race. Clearly very, very, very quick. Not a lot you can do. It's very difficult if you have that sort of accident early on. It's very difficult when the field around you are so close in terms of pace to be able to kind of rein it in. And the hardest thing about it is to keep your composure and not overdrive the car in some kind of vain attempt at sort of pushing more than you need to. It takes incredible discipline for particularly these top split high-end A+ drivers. It takes incredible discipline to have that sort of disappointment in turn one, where you take that kind of damage to your car, have to go to the pits and get that car repaired, leaving you, 10, 15 seconds adrift at the back, to then get back in or try and get back into that rhythm of churning out those consistent 201, 202 laps, lap after lap, and not get into that kind of mindset as they have to kind of give it extra because they've got to make a deficit up. The fact that they trust in their ability, they trust in their pace, and they can hold their head is the reason why these guys are racing at the top of their game. Absolutely the reason why they're racing at the top of their game. And it's the reason why I don't race. One, because I'm freaking slow, but also because I basically just drive like a nutter. What generally happens is I'll do the fastest lap I've ever done and then think I'm Hamilton Prime. I don't know why I'm using Hamilton. I think he's a knob. Schumacher Prime. I think I'm Schumacher Prime, and then I'll start overdriving and then crash. Mostly, I mostly crash. 2.1 seconds is the gap. 4/10 is what Batu has taken out over the last couple of laps. Still got Kadoglu's teammates hanging with them, working together maybe a little bit just to pull each other along. Certainly Batu pulling Kadoglu along at the moment. Very surprised. Excuse me for yawning right in your faces. Hopefully I'm not sending you to sleep. I'm very surprised we haven't seen anyone giving it the old bump drafty and, pushing each other along to try and close gaps. You would have thought, being that it's a team championship, there'd be a little bit more team play in that respect, but haven't really seen much of it. In all fairness, we haven't seen too many teammates running close together, other than, of course, these Borderless Esports guys. They seem to be running at a very, very similar, consistent pace. But overall, we haven't really seen too many teammates having the opportunity to do it. Maybe that's why we haven't seen it, because there hasn't been the opportunity to do so. 1.7 seconds. Now, 12 seconds of gap to Ale. Ale still, that's a really comfortable gap he's maintaining there. And it's not really changed much in the last few laps. 12, 13 seconds to the guys ahead. 4.8 to 5 seconds to the guy, to Larry Verde behind. So he's quite comfortable at the moment, is Ale. He can kind of run his own race and not worry too much about what's going on around him. I know it says please refuel. Not quite time yet. Pit window probably around lap 7, lap 8 is when we'll start to see these guys diving in. And from that point onwards, it's going to be super, super soft all the way. Well, not say super soft, it's sport soft. But it does say SS. Don't you miss that? Didn't you miss that from GT Sport, where we had soft, super soft, and medium and hard, and those extra super soft compound that lasted about a lap wherever you would race, but would make you 47 seconds a lap faster when you drove in them. Do miss those. Do miss them. Little battle there, Larry Verde and Bezzy, and that's Bezzy up to 5th. We've got to keep briefly up to 5th. How long can he make the move around the outside this time, or is Larry Verde going to hold him off? He can't do so, and that's Bezzy up to the top 5. 20 seconds now, the gap to Enjoy out ahead of him. Bezzy starting to ramp up the pace. He's starting to slam dunk the funk. He is looking to get 4 from 4. Currently 3 wins under his belt thus far. He is looking like the big dog. Woof, woof, woof. Larry Verde couldn't hold him off. He's hoping that Nixo, who's not too far behind, stays that way and doesn't close that. Doesn't close that 9/10 gap, which he hasn't been able to do as yet. But he is, of course, now sandwiched between those two Polish drivers, and it's not always a comfortable place to be. He does have his teammates not too far away. Is that his teammate? No, it's not, is it? No, it's not his teammate. Ignore me. I'm talking absolute trash, because, of course, he is the only GTGC driver in this lobby. Clearly streets above the rest of the Greek drivers, who are awesome drivers, all of them. As we see, Enjoy, Batu and Kadoglu all into the pits on lap 7. I said lap 7, lap 8 for pits. And spots on, I am. Spot on, I am. And there's some more going in now. I think not quite yet. No, a couple more laps yet. I think lap 8 we'll start to see them go in. So Enjoy is back out on those on those hard compound tyres. He'll come round, do one lap, and then we'll go back in the pits again, get those tyres out of the way. Batu going to do the same thing, sticking with Enjoy, but that gap is down to just half a second. Can he get that move done before they go into the pits at the end of this lap? That would certainly change things. It would certainly change any strategy Enjoy was hoping to put into place. So be interesting to see how this pans out for Enjoy, as the gap is starting just to close down on him a little bit. Batu really ramping up the pace now on the Polish driver. Bezzy up to 3rd. Does still need to pit again, of course, as does pretty much every driver out there. Will need to pit one more time until they're all on the soft compound tyre. The only one, the question mark that I have, is whether Ilka has run the hard compound tyre. I don't know if he has run both compounds. I'm not going to suggest that he hasn't done so, because I can't be certain. When you certainly look, if you look at lap 22, lap 2, when he did that 22, he went into the pits then. He went into the pits at the end of lap 1. Actually, he may well have done, because he went into the pits at the end of lap 1 to repair the damage. I think he may well have run those hard compound tyres for that one lap on lap 2. So Yeah, but it all went horribly wrong there by the looks of things on lap 7 when he did not a great time, a 2:43.3. So all the hard work has been undone. So here we go. Enjoy. How many in the pits? 1, 2, 3. Mello 4. Nixo 5. Lolo Fantic 6. Kadoglu. He's on the softs already, so he may stay out. Has he done his? Well, he did it on the last lap, did he? Has he still got a pit for another tyre? Looking at his lap times, it certainly looks like he might have to. Did he pit? No, he didn't pit at the end of lap 1. For certain, he didn't do that. So he's still got to run one of those compounds, probably the hard compound. So Kadoglu's still got to run the hard compound tyre at some stage, but currently takes the lead of this race. So maybe he's hoping actually he can build a significant lead on the softs that allows him just to nip in, put on the hards, nip back out. Ale comes out in second ahead of Larry Verdi. Enjoy this time. Already losing out to Bezzy on lap 9. Last time was able to come out in the lead and hold off for a little bit before Bezzy made that charge. But Bezzy is not being his Bezzy mate today. And Bezzy up into 4th place. This is going to be the guy to watch. At one stage, 29 seconds he was from the lead. He's cut that down to just 15 seconds. He now has essentially 5-6 laps. He's got 6 laps to make a 15-second deficit. We know that Kadoglu has to pit again because he's got one more compound to use. Ale, he has pit twice already. He pits at the end of lap 1 and pits again at the end of lap 7. Larry Verdi, we know, has pit twice. We know that Bezzy has not. Oh, yes, he has. Bezzy has pit twice as well. So there he is in 4th. He can run to the end of this race now, of course. So all eyes on Ale at the moment because he's 11 seconds behind Kadoglu. So that is essentially at the moment de facto leader, with Kadoglu needing to still run the hard compound tyre for at least 1 lap. There's no way he went in at the end of lap 1 with a 1:19. Everybody else at pit, 27, 29s, 34s. Did he pit at the end? No, we know he didn't pit at the end of lap 1. He did it lap 7 and lap 8. So here we go, Vodoglu. Oh, did he actually pit twice then? Did he do a 209 and a 243? I could be mistaken actually. He may well have already done it because he did the 243 and lap 8 was a 209, so he may actually have already done it. Should really pay more attention to who's going in and out of the pit, shouldn't I? That would make me more of a professional. We've had a couple of skip frames, and I don't know why. We've had a couple of skip frames because yeah, I do apologise for whatever problems we're having and what I don't know why we're having them. It's not a usual occurrence, I can assure you of that. I'm just having a look why my CPU seems to be struggling when it's not ordinarily something we have a problem with. Don't usually have a problem with my internet, but it might be the high winds, they are overhead cables after all. So, is Kadoglu just incredibly quick? Because I had some doubt that he's used both compound tyres, but I'm looking there, you've got a 209 on lap 8. I don't think he went in on lap 8, but I could very easily be mistaken. Let me see what I can do here to try and fix this problem. What is going on with my PC at the moment? I'm going to shut down a couple of things. There we go. Hopefully that solved the problem. Who knows? We'll find out sooner or later when you all disappear and stop watching because the stream's gone all funny. Don't know. I do apologise if there is any issues at your end. If I can fix them, I will fix them. I don't know what it is that's causing them, to be honest. Anyway, let's worry less about that and more about what's going on the racetrack. So, Kadoglu leads the way from Ale. Italian driver up there in second, but he's not. It's not all Ole for Ale, because there's Larry Verde right behind him. Behind him is Beze. And then NJ. That didn't work really well, did it? Batu making the move on Enjoy, making it look relatively simple as well. Enjoy going for the old switcheroo, maybe. Can't make it happen. That's Batu up into the top 5. Bezzy's closed the gap now to the leader to 8 seconds. We're on a lap 11 of 15 here at Tokyo Expressway. This is GT Fusion, next level world Team Championship, round number 4. We are in the Amuse Nismo 380R Super Leggera, and at the moment Bezzy is aiming for 4 out of 4 for this final race here, and I've been just reliably informed in my ear that there is a problem with the weather. We've got very, very high wind, so I do apologise if the signal's not coming through wonderfully to you. The internet cables outside are overhead cables, which might well be affected by the high winds. The signal's as good as it can be at my end. It's out of my hands. If it is causing a problem, it is out of my hands as it stands. So I do apologise for any issues you might be experiencing. I've actually got a monitor thing I can bring up, but I don't want to use it if we're already having problems with skip frames. I don't want to put the CPU under any strain if the internet itself is straining. Right, at the back of the pack, I wanted to have a look at what Ilka was doing, because Ilka is still the fastest man on the racetrack with a 2-minute 0.8, but hasn't really been able to use that pace to close up and make anything of it, to rescue his race after that coming together, where the back of the car just snapped away from him on turn 1 right at the beginning of this race, and he's really not been able to get the race back in his grasp. It's kind of got away from him early on, and that's kind of where it stayed. He does have a 13-second lead over Ghost, but 4.1 seconds to Nixo, and Nixo looking pretty racy at the minute, comfortably in those low 202s. Now he's on those soft tyres. Angelov also in the low 202s, high 201s, just 7/10 up the road. It's going to be Slipstream is the only thing that's going to get him through at this stage. Low Fantic from Italy, high 201s for him on those soft compounds. Mello's very similar in terms of pace, but he's the double overtake master. At the moment, I can't see much opportunity for him to make that double overtake, but who knows? There is Enjoy, who enjoyed a much better race in the last feature race, struggling a little bit this time, just a little bit, to stick with the front runners. Finds himself back in 6th and might be under some pressure from Mello very, very soon into this hairpin we go. Is he going to make the move before we even get the slipstream? Because you've got Mello and you've got Lolo Fantic, the two teammates there, chasing down Enjoy. Angelov not too far back either. There's Angelov there, just 0.8 of a second behind Lolo Fantic. Again, apologise for any issues occurring. Computer needs kicking out of a window, I think. No, I'm just joking. There's nothing wrong with my computer. It just, yeah, don't know. The internet's playing up a little bit. Right, there's the overtake. We knew it was coming. Only the one for Mello this time. There isn't two cars close enough to make the move, but makes that move. Is going to make it stick. Slot in front. There's always that little bit at the back of your mind when you make an overtake with slipstream like that and you want to slot back onto the racing line. There's always that little thing in your brain thinking, if this guy doesn't brake fast enough, this is over. I am in a wall. So you do kind of look, you've got to trust that the cars around you and the drivers around you have their wits about them and are really concentrating on what they're doing and are accounting for the fact that you've just made the overtake and you are in front of them and their brake distance might change a little bit. But by the same token, you're always going to be worried that it might happen. So oftentimes, I find, and I don't make that many overtakes, when I make a slipstream overtake, I tend to not pull fully in front of, unless I've made it way, way, way before the corner. If I'm reaching the braking zone and the overtake's just been done, I tend to stay off the racing line a little bit and just take a different line through the corner, just to kind of protect myself from the driver behind who's going to who possibly could hit me. And let's face it, if you're being overtaken by me, you're probably not the most skilled of drivers anyway. So yeah, so there we go. Lolo Fantic making the move on Enjoy now, dropping down the order like a stone. Lap 13 we are on. There's your race leader. The gap is 3.3 glorious seconds for him, and it's Bezzy now closing. Bezzy with the fastest lap of the race puts it at 2 minute 0.6. Already pretty much revving this out to its maximum, and it's topping out at 187. So Bezzy's done something different from a lot of the other drivers. You'll notice we'll look at another driver when they reach the end of the straight. Actually, let's find someone a bit further back. You can see here these guys topping out at 190. Ilka here, he's topping out at 188. Ghost will reach soon. We'll have a look and see what Ghost tops out at. But he's topping out much lower. He's topping out like 172. That's really costing him. I mean, ideally, when you're tuning your car, you want it to be topping out here. So this is where you want your engine to be topping out. But what it looks like some of these guys have done is they've turned that down to give themselves better exit speed out of the corners through this section. But you can see how much that's affecting Ghost. I mean, how far down? He's almost 20 mile an hour slower than some of these cars at the end of the straight. And I think actually that's key. I think you need to have kind of found that balance. Bezzy seems to have found the balance that makes him work. He is topping out a little bit earlier than I'm sure he would like to, but it's the trade-off that he's making with being able to get that power down through these slower corners like here and get through the gears faster and get up to speed faster, because you have to kind of find that balance where it's all well and good if you get to a top speed of 200 miles an hour, but if it takes you 47 miles to get there, it's no use to anybody. And as I thought, he did have to run the hard compound tyre, and that's Kadoglu into the pits to put on those mandatory tyres. And Bezzy, it looks very much like Bezzy is going to make this 4 from 4. He takes the lead of this race without having to set foot on a brake pedal or an inside line. So Bezzy now 1.6 seconds clear of Larry Verdi. This time we've got a Greek driver up in that top 3. We've bear in mind that we've had 3 Polish drivers in the top 3. Final lap ensues. This is the final lap for this round. No more racing to be had. I think the other lobbies were open before this one, so they're going to be over. This is the only place you can see live GT Fusion racing now that all the other lobbies are finished. And I do apologise for the couple of issues we seem to have had during this last race. Now, I don't know if that's anything to do with the lobby or the fact I've got very high winds and we've got internet issues because of those high winds. I will be able to I'm going to run an analytic afterwards and have a look at the data and see where that's coming from and what is causing that particular problem. But it looks to me to be an internet issue, but only time will tell. Only time will tell. But so Larry Verdi is running in second, but under significant pressure from Ale as they come into this final corner. Ale having a little dive up the inside. Is Ale going to nick second? Does that give Larry Verdi, though, that bit of slipstream he needs to regain that position? So Bezzy comes down. We can't miss him crossing this line, but we do want to watch if this battle ensues. It doesn't look like Larry's going to get that job done. So Bezzy, 4 from 4 for the EES driver. He really has been the best of the best of the best, and takes that 4th win from 4 here. Ali nicking on that last corner, nicking second. Larry Verdi rounding out that top 3 with Batu in 4th. Mello home in 5th. Lolo Fantic in 6th. Angelov in 7th. Nixo home in 8th position. Enjoy is home in 9th. Ilka in 10th place. Kadoglu, really unfortunately, he was in the lead for so long, but he had to run those hard compound tyres. Cost him so many places, down in 11th. Ghost will bring it home in 12th, 23 seconds back. Boom Shankar, and Rati Madudar is all I've got to say. That was some racing. Absolutely fantastic. Elite racing squad indeed. That was very, very elite driving. We're done. It's over. There is no more racing for you. Time for bed, people. Thank you very much for joining me. No, it's been awesome. It's been absolutely fantastic. Congratulations to the EES team, and particularly to Bezzy, who absolutely stole the show. We do want to bring up the results. I don't know why I closed that screen down there. That is proof, if ever it were needed, that Bezzy has indeed won 4 from 4. Ale on the last corner nicks himself for 2nd place. Good showing for the Italian driver. Larry Verdi puts a Greek man on the podium, I think for the first time, 2nd time this race. Larry Verdi up in 3rd, Batu in 4th, Mello comes home in 5th, and I'm sure he's going to be nice and chilled and mellow about that. Thanks for ending the game while I'm still going through the menu. Cheers, man. That's not cool, man. Not cool. We're done. This has been the GT Fusion Next Level Racing World Team Championship round number 4. This has been the elite, best of the best, creme de la creme drivers from Lobby A here at Tokyo Expressway. So all that's left to say is thank you very much to me, Black Flag Racing TV, for doing the broadcast. Thank you very much to you guys for watching and being involved. Thank you very much to all the sponsors. I want to thank my mum, and I want to thank my agent. No, sort of that. I'm going to go and do something less race-shaped now. I need to have to eat. I haven't eaten yet, so I need to have something to eat. I'm going to do that. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to watch a film, and then I'm going to plan world domination for some point next week. If you want to catch more racing action, you can do right here on Black Flag Racing TV. There'll be a few bits and pieces during the week, maybe a couple of practice lobbies for the GT Alphas Championship. Coming up on the 3rd of October, it is Return to the Disco Fever for the KTM Boogie Woogie, which you can catch every round of the KTM Boogie Woogie right here on Black Flag Racing TV. And of course, next weekend, Saturday, 8 p.m, round 1 of the eagerly anticipated, now the qualifying is done, of course, the eagerly anticipated GT Alphas GT3 World Championship. If you're only here for Fusion and I'm not going to see you again, I'll see you in exactly 1 month's time. I'm out. Keep talking, lads.